Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. At All Carry Insurance on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. At Shelby Hardware, South Lafayette Street in Shelby. At Deja Vu Consignments, downtown Cherryville. At Pro Wellness Family Chiropractic on Clark Drive in Lincoln. At the Chop Shop Dog Salon on East King Street in Kings Mountain. At Holly's Flowers on East Morgan Street in Shelby. At Victoria Cole Gifts and Collectibles in downtown Cherryville. And at Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery, South Washington Street in Shelby. The drawing will be held Friday, June 13th. Be sure to get your dad registered in the KTC Broadcasting Father's Day Contest.
They have worn our nation's cloth under the red, white, and blue and paid the ultimate sacrifice to ensure freedom.
Start your engine!
Once again, it is the Coca-Cola 600 right here in Charlotte.
William Byron, Christopher Bell, neither one wanting to give an inch.
We've got a new leader in the Coca-Cola 600.
It's NASCAR's most challenging event, the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday, May 25th at 5 o'clock.
On Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Every weekend right here.
Start your engine!
Welcome to Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown alongside the NASCAR legend. We're Charlie and Debbie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought they were going to lose their girls to Carl Edwards. Have you ever seen Carl Edwards? When he first came around, I didn't know he had a shirt because he never seemed to have one on.
He can't even play the hook.
It's Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown with Charlie and Debbie.
Friday afternoons at 3 p.m. on Carolina Country WCSL, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
It's Employee Pricing Plus at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby, putting the power in your hands. Now you can receive employee pricing on select new 2024 or new 2025 Dodge models, or choose available attractive offers. Contact dealer for details. Check out the Dodge Performance Vehicles Employee Pricing Plus at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
For your next round of golf, head to the mountain. Crowder's Mountain, that is. Now, the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course has the best golf prices around. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $20. Good for regular and senior players. Play and ride 18 on the weekends till noon for just $30. And after 12, just $25. For your tee time, call 704-739-7681. The Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, Lincoln Academy Road, Kings Mountain, right off Highway 74 bypass.
Hey folks, this is Milton Baker from Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause beside the post office. We're your down-home antique store and more. While there, check out all the antiques and more. Memory Lane has Pepsi, Coke, and other thermometers, clocks too, Hoosier-type cabinets, pie safes, kerosene lamps, antique hanging scales, and a Western table with cowboy and Native American-related items. We're on Old Highway 150 beside the Krause Post Office. Call 704-473-2794. Memory Lane, your down-home antique store and more.
Down home, where they know you by name and treat you like family.
special teams go punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball, we going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option, that mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. 4 receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6, scoreboard, that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't.
And good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Joxx, Kevin Hastings, and Chip Carter, Tom Cinefani, Terry Reinhardt in the building today. And we are talking a little bit about all kinds of sports. I think I'm going to check and see if I got them on the mic. Do I hear you guys?
I hear you. We hear you. You hear us okay?
All right, I hear Chip.
Yeah.
Check. Can you hear me?
I hear Terry.
Do
I don't
you
know
hear
about
me?
Tom. What about Tom?
Okay, there we go.
Not much of Tom, Chip.
That'll work. Cut him
His
off.
sounds not. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. That works perfectly. Everything's working fine, according to Terry.
Yeah, I don't pick up Tom, but
there might be a mixed wire for a second, but I'm gonna let Chip handle that, and I'll come in there and see what I can do. Go ahead,
all right.
Chip.
Well, good morning, everybody. Again, once again, welcome to Shock Jock Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings, Chip Carter, Terry Reinhardt, Tom Cinefani, maybe Tom Cinefani this morning.
Hey, this is a great day so far.
Terry's been having a little too much fun with this, real quick. But appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. You can check us online as well. I believe Kevin's going to try to have us on Rumble. That's what we've been the past few weeks. And then also, of course, you can listen to us on the radio. You can listen back to us if you want to check us in later in the week. We will post these up on YouTube, as always. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be happy to check in on all the latest sports going on. I'm sure we got a lot to talk about today. We'll get to NBA playoffs later in the show. We'll also talk about, wrap up the PGA Championship, talk about MLB, any football news going on. And, of course, we generally start with NASCAR. A lot of times we have a local NASCAR show that leads into to our show. So just taking a look. Terry, give us the update. Where were we last week with NASCAR? Do we know?
Well, when Kyle Busch is not doing good,
it just takes the luster out of it, doesn't it?
It takes everything out of it to me.
Yeah.
Tom, we got you over there yet?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah, it's just hard to hear.
I wonder if there's a shortness.
Yeah, I heard it crack a little bit there.
I've been silenced. I've been silent.
Well, you broke your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Kind of, sort of. Actually, I'm going to switch something out for you here in a second because that's weird.
Yeah.
Because that don't sound right. So I'm gonna check on that. Go ahead.
I saw Terry.
It was All-Star weekend,
All-Star.
Terry.
It was.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty bad. We couldn't remember it was they were in North Wilkesboro for the All-Star weekend this past week.
That's right.
So, how do you feel about the? I'm very pleased about them bringing North Wilkesboro back into the fold. Definitely,
I'm with that.
This is second straight year they've done the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro, though. Yeah. You got thoughts about that, or what's your feeling about?
My whole feelings about this, Chip, is if you're in the top 10, you have a chance. If you're further back than that, chances are not good.
Well,
that's just, I mean, it's hard to pass there.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot of breaks. It's going to take you a long time to pass people. If I'm starting 30th, my chances, which they only 23 cars, but if I'm starting 23rd, it's going to be hard for me to get to front starting 23rd.
Well, and that's one of those with North Wilkesboro, to your point about how difficult it is to pass or how difficult it is to move up if you're outside.
You have to knock somebody out of the way.
Can y'all hear Tom now?
Yes.
Okay, it's probably really loud too, isn't it?
A little bit.
Okay. All right, Tom, whisper till I fix it.
But we were.
It's a little loud.
We were going so well, Terry.
Yeah.
I know Christopher Bell won the race last week.
Yep.
Logano was probably the better car
Mm-hmm.
until the end, and he couldn't keep up with him. But I mean, it's an all-star race, $1 million, and I did like it for second place at $100,000 for second place, and then everybody else, I guess you just here for nothing.
I appreciate the fact all the effort they did to reinvest into North Wilkesboro, bring it back into the fold. I'm very proud of that, and put it in the circuit. Put it, have at least one race there in the year.
Well, that's what the guys want. They want the points race there, not the All-Star race.
Right.
Actually,
Well, the novelty of reintroducing it last year, I get that, but after that, okay, put it into the rotation, and put the All-Star race somewhere. I mean, I think it historically being at Charlotte, and maybe I'm a homer, but it made sense. Generally, obviously most of the teams are based out of Charlotte, or they historically have been based out of Charlotte. Easy travel for them. Charlotte was very, Daytona in its own way is the NASCAR capital, but there's also an argument that could be made. Charlotte's got a claim to that as well. Hall of Fame obviously is uptown. So I think
that was the original purpose.
Right.
Was on the with the Hall of Fame being here was the All-Star and those two together. The problem was it was a bad race.
Yeah.
The new car made it a good race, and now the guys want to actually bring it back because Charlotte historically was whoever got out front, they were gone. Like, you're not catching that guy.
Yeah. Well, ask Martin Truex.
Yeah, and Jimmy Johnson. I'm saying if Jimmy ever got out in front of Charlotte, I could just sit there and eat popcorn all day. I knew it was
Martin
over.
Truex led all but maybe 10 laps.
It was a 600-mile race. So it's changed a little bit. I'm with Terry on this one, to be honest. I wouldn't mind the All-Star being at Talladega or Daytona, so anybody could win.
Anybody can win $1 million.
The problem with those big old tracks, Terry, there's only 20 cars out there would be in the All-Star or whatever, and that's what they face in North Wilkesboro, and that's why the guys want a points race in North Wilkesboro, is because then you'll have 40 cars on the track, and those leaders will be catching the people behind you and causing trouble. So that's the reason that everybody wants the points race there as opposed to the All-Stars. The All-Stars kind of it's to me,
it's a novelty.
They could put it anywhere, to be honest.
If they're going to do
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Right.
There's NASCAR fans complain about everything. They're like like we talked last week, that some of the golf fans out there.
If they're going to do a short track, I would say do the iconic one, put it on Bristol. Put it at Bristol. That would make it, I mean.
Well, here's my deal. I think if we're going to do this, let's go back to the start of NASCAR, and let's put it in this vicinity: Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, if they had track, etc. in this area. We're not going to Kansas. We're not going to California. We're not going to Texas or Minnesota or wherever, or Michigan. We're going to stay right in this area for your All-Star race and rotate it.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to rotating it. I think that would be that adds a little excitement, or a little to differ or change it up every year.
And I know them people out that way going to be like, well, what do you mean getting rid of us? Well, it didn't start with you.
That's right. No, I get that. Keep it regional. Keep it, and I guess that's a tip of the cap where in the early 2000s NASCAR really seemed to forget its roots, or the organizers did. That's a good compromise. The tip of the cap to this is where the sport this is where the sport started and really planted its roots.
Well, this week we are in Charlotte, and not for the All-Star race, the Coca-Cola 600 Memorial Day weekend. I want to welcome everybody. If you are watching, if you are listening to this show right now, 92.9 FM, 59 AM, you can watch live on Rumble right now. I clicked a button, Chip, trying to make it live on YouTube. I don't know if it worked. I'm going to check it in a minute. I've been hitting a lot of buttons without the great JP here. So I'm doing my best here on those. But it is the Coca-Cola 600 this weekend in Charlotte. This weekend's schedule for the folks that want to know. Well, I just lost it. How about the weekend schedule? That's the button I need to press. How about we show the folks online the weekend schedule as well? Because I know some of you guys out there listening to Raceland and excited about this weekend. It's always a great weekend to go out there and see the race 600. Terry, you got any tips for anybody going out to 600? Pack a lunch
and a dinner,
maybe. The weather's not supposed to rain, right?
Well, I know some people.
Yeah, you know people.
Yeah, quite a few.
I'm sorry for those.
You know some people.
But I do know a group that's going that they're kind of lucky. They get up in the press boxes.
Oh, that's not going to a race.
Huh? Yeah, but they got all the food they're gonna need.
Yeah. I was gonna say, are they tailgating before?
You know, no, it's food's
that's
right
not,
there
that's
for
not
them.
real racing.
You know,
that's not real. That's not.
But I'm proud for them. But they're gonna see it. My granddaughter, she'll be there to watch the race, and
neat.
she's not gonna know what all this is about when
she'll
she
love
says,
it. She'll
"Oh
love it.
yeah, she will," in the air conditioning and everything else.
Yeah, that'll be a great race for her.
Heck yeah, well, if you want to take a nap right there's you a nice little cushioned seat to sit back in and to go, you know, whatever.
Tom, did you go to a race if you can't walk out of there with like half your arm sunburnt and then with a farmer's tan? You know, you look like you got a wife. You had a wife beater on.
Well, what happens
if you're in
is-
the air conditioning at the race?
Well,
I don't know.
yeah.
I ain't never heard about that.
What happens at a typical race is you get there in the morning and you got your Bojangles or your chicken wings or whatever, and then after a few cool beverages, you kind of forget where you're at, and that's when you wake up with the sunburn and all that stuff. I mean, that's just part of it. But 600's a fun race to go to. I think I went in 98 or 99 and just had a good time. You know, you just go out there, just wherever you're at, just throw a blanket out there, you know, sit down, eat some chicken wings, go in and watch a race. Now, you're going to be out there all day. You know what I mean? If you go, it's an all-day event. You're there in the morning, and race doesn't start till 6. You know, so you're going to be out there a while.
Coca-Cola 600.
Hey, he's got
Nice
his
hat.
There you go, sporting the right
But
weekend.
here's the deal. This in 2020. So what happened in 2020?
Was there?
Nobody was at the race.
Yeah,
That's weird. Yeah, it's just weird.
Thank God,
Yeah.
nobody was there.
Yep.
That's what Terry went all by himself.
Do we have? Is there
The
anybody?
tickets are sold out.
Yeah, it's sold out for
Like,
third
we didn't even
straight
get
year.
any.
Wow.
We didn't even
Yeah,
get any. for
third
this.
straight year it's been sold out.
Are we? Is there anybody trying to do the marathon? Trying to do Indy and
One guy is. Who's doing it this year? I can't remember. I just saw it.
Larson.
Kyle Larson
yeah.
is. He's favored to win right now.
Now-
He's favored.
How many people
Now wait a
does,
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
NASCAR hold?
Technically, Jimmy Johnson is doing it this year.
Okay.
He is driving the pace car
Oh.
at Indy
Oh.
to start the race, and then he's coming down to Charlotte to run the race.
You got to run
He's
500.
running the 600.
You got to run 500
No,
miles.
now wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna go
He's
run
on the
4
track.
laps.
He's on the track
I'm gonna go 4
while the
laps.
flags are and the cars are running. That counts. If Kyle Larson goes out there and wrecks on lap 1, does it count, Terry?
No. I'm not
You
Terry.
have to finish it.
He's in it. He's gonna get money.
Jimmy's getting paid.
But you can't say you did the marathon. You
Well,
can't.
I'm just saying he's gonna get some money.
I got to look up who he's driving. He's driving somebody famous too as well in the fastest lap. Whatever.
You got
they
any
call it.
problem with somebody? Wasn't there an issue with this last year?
Larson.
What happened?
It was the same thing.
Rain out. It was rain, and Larson.
Yeah, he
Now,
stayed and finished the end.
This year's problem that Larson has is that the president is attending the Indy 500, and so the airspace is restricted for certain times. So depending on when Larson's done with the race, or the president leaves, they don't know when Larson can leave right now.
But wasn't he late last
He
year?
wasn't. Somebody was in his car for him.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
the 600, and then
Yes.
it rained out, but it didn't matter,
Okay.
kind of, but like. So I don't know how to explain that.
Right. I got you.
All right. So Jimmy Johnson is driving the 2-seater pace car with co-rider Tom Brady. So 2 7-time champions will be leading the pace to start the Indy 500.
I think that's fake. In the back seat, they should have Richard Petty.
In the back seat. God.
At Indy?
Do you
No,
think, first of all,
no,
Terry,
Indy.
do you think Richard Petty's sitting in the back seat of any
No,
car?
he's not.
He's not.
He's
You saw
not.
what he did when they let him in on the track at Daytona a few years ago.
That's right. He
He's
kept
gonna
on
bump draft
driving.
the president if he had a chance.
Yeah.
Now, I do get, speaking of bump drafting the presidents, I got to do something funny to show you in a minute from Junior Johnson, some highlights from him. I was going to go over the schedule this weekend real quick for all our folks. All right, so if you want to know what's going on today, Xfinity Series qualifying at 11 a.m. More Xfinities. No, it's practice at 11 a.m. Qualifying is at 12:10. Okay. Cup Series practice is at 1:30 today. Cup Series qualifying is at 2:40. Xfinity Series race today, 4:30 p.m. KTC broadcasting here on 92.9 FM. Tomorrow, let me get up to tomorrow's schedule. That's Saturday. How about Sunday, May 25th? 600 begins at 6 p.m. Of course, it'll end under the lights here on KTC Broadcast. You can hear it 92.9 FM. Now, like I said, I do got you guys some fun racing highlights. Speaking of Indy, they're doing important things over at Indy. How about we go over for some highlights? How about the Wiener 500? And obviously,
I don't think we can see that.
We can't. We're going to fix it, though. Be ready for it. Be ready for it. When I hit the actual audio, it's going to work at some point. Let's see. Let's go with the speaker. There we go.
Drops out of contention. Dog race out there
All right, here we go. Listen to the audio.
Someone's overheating. We've got smoked buns.
We've got smoked buns.
No, that is an over-grilled dog. That has overcooked it, and that is not going to end well. After all of that impressive pace.
The leader blew an engine in the Wiener 500, Terry. Would you like to be announcing this, Tom?
Oh, my God.
I think they're doing a great job, them guys.
Well, I was going we used to have racing over at the fair when Calvin was in charge. What would you do, Tom, if he called you to ask you to do the Wiener 500 over at Cleveland County Fair?
Why not? Let's do it.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Now, what's funny about that? That's not the only highlight. I've got more highlights from the Wiener 500, obviously. How about this call? Now, you heard the last call, right? That was a good one. This is a good call as well. But you got to listen to the very end and see if you catch the announcer. All right, here we go.
Look at this pass that just happened. It was something for the ages here.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bobble coming off of turn 2 really just allowed that car to get swarmed, get swallowed up by the competition, losing 3 spots, falling down the order.
Frankly, a phenomenal move. Look at this.
Frankly,
just happened. It was
a phenomenal move.
That guy.
I've been hearing that in my head since I've found this highlight.
Frankly,
a phenomenal move.
That guy does the Formula One races.
That needs to be part of our Shock Joxx lexicon from here on out.
Anna listens when on Sunday they have the Formula One, and you know the difference between that is those races are like 90 minutes. I mean they're not very long. But she, as an engineer, has an appreciation for Formula One.
Did she have a favorite driver?
She likes the Ferrari team.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, well, she doesn't really like Hamilton. There's an American in Formula One now, and I can't remember his name, but she usually her Italian roots. Did she like
Max Verstappen?
No, she hate. We always pull against Max. We hate him. But I had to pick a driver.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. But he's not as dominant this year as he was in years past. But I had to pick a driver. And, I don't really care about this stuff. I just watch it because she watches it. But just like that guy right there, he would say, George Russell, George Russell. So I think he's Team Mercedes. Mm-hmm. So, I pretended like I'm a George Russell fan. I got a 63 T-shirt and all this stuff, I ordered one. So now I'm like a George Russell. I'm like a quasi George Russell, just so I have a driver I can pull for. So, and then Anna will say, well, George is third. It's like he never wins. George Russell never wins. He's always second or third, the best he could do. But it is pretty fun. That guy does that little British guy does a good job.
We just saw one of the wieners catch fire and blow up. Now, this is the highlight of the winners. Now, Tom, your daughter being an engineer, here's something she can. They need an engineer because one of the winners just blew up.
She might need help.
So here we go. Here's the winners. It takes 2.
Let's go!
We got Oscar Myers for life.
Yeah. Is that what you win?
What's the prize?
A bucket of wieners.
Okay.
Listen, the Indy 500 did this. I didn't do it, Tom. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Okay. We're good.
This is like the Memorial Day weekend version of the hot dog eating contest.
It's just such an American. It's just so American. You know what I mean? It's just so that is just so American. It's just so, It reeks of America on the Oscar Mayer Wiener race.
Yeah.
I mean, where else could you have that besides America?
Mm-hmm.
But when Anna goes on cruises, Chip, that's one of the discussions. You can discuss Formula One with with people from Britain and all that stuff. They like that kind of
George,
stuff.
what's his name?
George Russell.
Okay,
George Russell.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for results.
You just gotta pretend like you guys have to pretend like you're a fan.
I'll be a George Russell fan.
George Russell.
I'm gonna start sending Tom text while Formula One's going on.
Mercedes. Now he's Team Mercedes.
Yeah.
Russell's Mercedes.
Terry, how many pretend NASCAR fans will be in the stands this weekend? Pulling for.
Yeah,
I know there's going to be a lot of Kyle Busch fans on the edge this weekend. Tom.
I know,
it's been
man.
a while.
They keep waiting,
Yeah,
man. Husbands everywhere are just desperate.
Kyle Busch husbands everywhere. Die for
They're going to be an explosion in the United States.
baby boom, 21st century.
Next time Kyle Busch wins, 9.5 months later.
That's right.
More babies. Well, this weekend at the 600 is actually number 700 for Jimmy Johnson. I got a little video for you.
700 starts.
Jimmy Johnson in his first NASCAR Western Cup race at Stacy Compton.
Jimmy Johnson off turn 4, sixth in points, leading rookie on the tour. He's going to win his 13th start.
Jimmy Johnson is the 2006 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion.
To be the champion, it's everything I've ever wanted to be.
Away from the championship. Jimmy Johnson through 3 and 4. Make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmy Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
The championship is going to go to Jimmy Johnson, and if you don't think he's going to be one of the greatest, think again.
The making of the 7th championship as Jimmy Johnson climbs out of the car.
About in Charlotte, there was a time like that made you like, it was done. You go to the race and just watch it, and and you know, as a Kyle Busch fan, when he's hot or he's got a good car, it's fun watching your driver just hawk down the guys in front of you. And that's part of the fun of going to those races. And when going to Charlotte, like I said, that was one of his tracks to where, man, I know if he qualifies top 10, we're gonna have a show today at least, as long as he don't wreck. But then you go this weekend, and like you know, Kyle and Jimmy, and like, do they even have a chance this weekend at this track? I know 600 miles gives them a chance because there's going to have some people's going to fall out. But with the cars, you know how NASCAR is. If you're not one of the top so many teams, these 1.5 mile non-restrictor plate races or the short track series don't tend to lead towards these guys winning these types of races.
My deal with this race is I'm looking at Kyle Busch 7th to 10th.
Right.
That's what I think he's going to be.
If Jimmy has a great day, that's why I feel the same way. If he's got to have a great day, and that's he might.
But when I go back to them guys, man, I always think you go from the King to the Intimidator to the Mr. Nice Guy. That's how I put them in order.
I mean,
you know, because Jimmy Johnson did everything not to make everybody mad at him.
Two thoughts, and Kevin's touched on the first one before. He's a walking legend now, and you've got to get. And I was not a Jimmy Johnson fan when he was a driver, but you've got to give him his due. He has matched what your two icons of the sport that built NASCAR into what it was. He's matched them, and they basically
he's got more wins than Senior.
And they don't. There's like a lack of recognition for that. He's still around the garage and everything, but it's like Fox and NBC and NASCAR should be leaning into that the same as they do Richard Petty. And
how many wins did Jeff Gordon end up with? Where was he?
He's third at 93.
Okay.
And that's the thing that everybody forgets, Terry, and that's the thing everybody
People
forgets.
forget,
Right. If it's not for Jimmy was racing, Jeff Gordon was the car owner. Like that was his car.
Yeah.
So if Gordon was going to give him like better stuff, like to be, you know what I mean? Like,
You got to go out there and beat
Well,
me.
yeah, go beat me with my stuff.
Well, the first part of it was Hendrick, though. The first part
Right.
he was with Hendrick.
Right. And so, like, at that time, you know, Gordon had 4 championships, and everybody forgets that was the one, and that was my grandma's thing, was that she was pulling for Jeff Gordon because he's beating Dale Earnhardt.
The only thing that I ever hated about NASCAR, and I'll always hate this, was Dale Earnhardt wanting his 2 guys, Michael and Dale Jr., to finish ahead of him, and he's going to hold everybody off. To me, every time I think about that, if Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sr. would have wanted that race, he could have won that race.
And he'd probably still be here
Yes.
today.
That's the stuff that bothers me.
The irony, my dad and I talked about it for months, Terry. He never did that.
No.
When he went out there, he
was
went,
going to the front.
he was the walking epitome. If
Yeah.
you're not first, you're last. He was. They make fun of
the guy defending everybody behind.
Yeah, he was the sheriff. He was the sheriff on the track. Everybody marched to his tune, and nobody. If he didn't want you in front of him, you weren't going to be in front. He was going to quote unquote rub you a little bit. The one race where he thought, and now granted, it was his cars. The one race that he thought about, I'm not going to try to win this. I'm going to try to. I want my team to win this. Ended up the one time he sacrificed for himself. He paid the ultimate. He paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Sure did.
Now we all love NASCAR and conspiracy theories, and I have no proof of this, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are. When Jimmy Johnson wins championship number 7, how much do you think the France family had a sit-down conversation with him? Like, Jimmy, we'll take care of you. We can't have you win an 8th championship.
I don't know if they talked about it, but it happened.
That's
100%. I don't know if they talked about it, but it dang sure happened.
Yeah, we can't have you pass.
I don't know how it was discussed.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I would not be shocked at all if that was the case.
They don't have that. There's no, for NASCAR, there's no motivation in hoping that Jimmy or anyone else breaks 7.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I agree.
None.
Because their whole thing is based on Richard was 7 and 200. Dale was the next generation's hero. He got 7, and then Jimmy does. He got, like I said, and they didn't change the points every year. They either changed the points of the car about every year he was winning those championships. Something changed, and they did their best. We got to stop it. But like you said, at that point, 2016, that's 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 10 years ago almost. It was when his last championship was. And it don't feel like it. But you're right, Chip. They have no incentive allowing or wanting someone to win more than 7 championships.
And
I don't think they ever thought it would happen. I just don't think they ever thought it would get there.
Yeah, exactly.
When
That's why they kept
brought
changing the thing.
The NASCAR Hall of Fame, I think along this line, they found out they've put too many people in.
When whatever Hall of Fame you have, whatever Hall of
Fame, got to
Fame,
be really selective.
Yeah, there should not be a requirement for we need to have so many people every year. That's a market. That makes it a marketing ploy at that point. No, you earn it, and if that means there's nobody that earns their way into Major League Baseball,
that's right.
As twisted, as messed up as that process is right now, they don't require anybody. There's been years they've had nobody elected to the Hall of Fame, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
If you're feeling like you have to force people to be voted into the Hall of Fame on an annual basis, at that point it really waters down those who are in the Hall of Fame.
And I look at it like this, because this year they left Neil Bonnet out again, so they always have a spot. If there's only going to be one, it could be just him.
Right.
I mean, because I think he needs to be in it. But I mean, they've watered it down so much. They let so many people in.
Yeah.
I think it's going to hurt them in the long haul, because there's not that many people jumping over into NASCAR to want to be in that Hall of Fame.
I mean, I'll say the most unpopular thing about the Hall of Fame right now. Do we really think? And might go down as the most popular. He'll go down as the most popular driver of the 21st century, or at least the first part of the 21st century. Performance-wise, do we really think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a Hall of Fame caliber racer?
He won 26 races.
Yeah.
He's 36th, 33rd all time.
Well, no championship.
Yes, that's correct. No championship.
People behind him without championships. Ricky Rudd's in the Hall of Fame of 23.
He was my favorite driver as a kid. I don't think.
Davey Allison at 19. Buddy Baker at 19. Harry Gant just got elected at 18.
Yeah. I think they just let anybody in.
That's the problem. It's watering it down.
Cannot do that.
And I'm not I loved watching Harry Gant. Ricky Rudd was my favorite driver growing up. These guys, I mean, it does not make them a Hall of Fame caliber.
How many races did Neil Bonnet win?
Neil Bonnet?
Mm-hmm.
He's on down.
Yeah.
Neil Bonnet.
Glenn Woods in with 4 wins.
I don't even see him on the list. Neil Bonnet. Sterling Martin had 10.
Neil Bonnet won 18 races in the NASCAR Cup Series during his career.
Well, what about Dick Trickle?
There's Neil Bonnet. Yeah.
That's the one.
Tom had already jumped over.
You know what people forget though? People forget how many races that Darrell Waltrip won. He has more wins than Jimmy Johnson. He has more wins than Cale Yarborough.
And
he has more wins than Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Busch.
And he won a championship.
3.
And he won a Daytona 500. I mean, he's yes.
We're gonna go to break, but I have to complain about something real quick. I sit there and watch this video on my phone. I swear I saved it. I can't find it, but there was video of Junior. We didn't watch this last week, did we? Junior Johnson hitting Bill France, did we?
Mm-mm.
No.
Like I cannot find it. Look, I had it on. I know I watched it on my phone. I just typed it in Twitter and it looked.
It's gone.
No words of Junior Johnson pace car Bill France. I sit there and watch this. There's a video of Junior Johnson getting mad, and Bill France was in the pace car, Terry, as the guest rider, and they penalized Junior for reconciling. It was the celebrity race, and they penalized Junior. They tried to put him in the back of the field. And in the restart, the old NASCAR rules were that you race side by side and try to get in front of the lead or whatever. Well, he tried to do that, and they told him no. He didn't care, so they black flagged him and tried to take him out. So he side jobs Bill France in the pace car, and they have to stop the race. Bill has to get out the car before he gets hurt because Junior's trying to T-bone him.
I think it's got taken down.
Why would that be taken down?
Yeah,
I'm on YouTube, everything.
I'm on X right now. You can see the clip on the Google search. Junior Johnson was ticked. And
I typed in Junior Johnson hits Bill France on video. And I swear I just watched. There was like a document. It was like a 2-minute video on. Yeah. Hey, watch Junior. He gets spun out right here. You know, it was the announcers and everybody talking about it. But yeah, he hit France, Terry. He just sideswiped through there. France guy. He's like, I'm getting out of this car. He had his cowboy hat and everything. He didn't have like a race. He had nothing. No race, nothing on. All right. Well, I told y'all what it was.
Is that it?
Yes.
It's on.
What should I type in? Tag me on it.
Yeah.
Tag Kevin Hastings.
Well, I'm not on Facebook. I just pulled this up.
What'd you type in?
I did on Google. On Google, I typed in Junior Johnson pace car Bill France.
I did that.
And then it's on Facebook. Facebook NASCAR Golden Era, and then it says pace car protest only Junior Johnson when a penalty didn't sit right.
So, okay, we'll try to watch this. Here
we go.
I don't know if the volume. How do you do volume? Maybe I don't know how to do it. Trying to show the fans at home, but it's. Oh, how about that? Here we go.
Apparently trying to converse with Bill France Jr., the president of NASCAR, who's driving the pace car. He actually touches him.
No, he wouldn't touch the pace car.
Well, I don't know. You can expect anything from Junior Johnson. He does touch it.
Junior Johnson in car number 3, doing what every Winston Cup driver has always wanted to do. Run into Bill France Jr. on a racetrack. Hey, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. They're going to stop the race. This looks like a typical Saturday night shootout. And they're holding the cars down here on the track while they get this thing ironed out. Let's take a look again at what happened.
Okay, there's Johnson up beside the pace car, and he frams him, knocks France down into the grass area, then Junior pulls away.
Billy France is bailing out of that pace car. He's had all this he wants.
Well, he's trying his best to move around Tim Block, and Block knows how to hold him off. Boy, they get together there pretty good.
Junior Johnson into the side of 67-year-old Tim Block, straightens him up, and here they come for turn 1.
He's just out there
Look
hitting
at Block,
everybody,
Terry. He's going to try to turn back into it.
That could cost the Junior a tire out there.
Oh, goodness. Terry, what do you think about that?
That's hilarious.
It could cost him a tire.
Yeah, okay, you don't care. All right, we'll be back in There's no JP. We might be back in a few.
That's right. We're going to get back. We got a lot more to touch base with you on this week, this morning's show. We're going to talk NBA playoffs. I'm sure we'll talk football, college football, reseeding of the college football playoff. We'll talk baseball and more. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Happy Memorial Day from the Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. And to celebrate and honor our veterans, the Campers Inn invites you to come by this Saturday for free hot dogs. Now that's the deal. And this week, if a veteran purchases a camper, they'll receive a free gift to help with your camping experience. That's this Saturday, May 24th, free hot dogs at the Campers Inn, 615 Broadview Drive off Highway 161 South at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Closed Monday, Memorial Day. Again, happy Memorial Day from the Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. Are you in the market for a new mower? Well, if so, head to Bean Brothers Hardware and Landscaping in Lincoln. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 48 months with approved credit. That means a brand new Husqvarna tractor-type mower is only $89 per month. And they have the lowest price on pine needles, just $4.25 a bale. And in the big greenhouse, large hanging baskets are $19.99. Bean Brothers Hardware and Landscaping, 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. Online at beanbrothershardware.com.
Why choose Kubota for your new compact tractor? All the options in the market can make the choice difficult, but don't lock yourself in before you've seen what Kubota can offer. We've been selling reliable tractors in the U.S. for over 50 years. Your Kubota dealer can help you select the right tractor at a price you can afford and then support your purchase after the sale. Stop by your dealer today for a tractor you can count on for years to come.
Your Kubota dealer in this area is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, Kings Mountain.
It's Tee Up Tuesday, each and every Tuesday at the Westport Golf Course in Denver. Tee it up and play all day, as long as you like, for just $30. That includes cart and green fee, and you can play for $30 on Tuesdays at the Westport Golf Course in Denver. For your tee time, call 704-489-8088 or visit their website at westportgc.com. Enjoy a great golf experience at the Westport Golf Course, 7494 Golf Course Road, South in Denver.
For over 60 years, Honda Motorcycles of Shelby has been serving this area, and they continue to do so today. Right now, you'll find a good inventory of dirt bikes, plus 150 and up to 450 models of on- and off-road bikes. See the new 2024 Honda Rebel, along with 4x4 ATVs and side-by-sides, including the Pioneer and the Talon, plus Gold Wings and Trikes. And don't forget about their parts and service department. That's Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at HondaMotorcyclesofShelby.com. It's time to go fishing, and the place to start is the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Just arrived the Wiley Marshall Mr. Crappy Rods for $89.99. Also just in, the new Penn Surf Rods. Also Catch the Fever Hellcat Rods and Catch the Fever Striper Rods. And Cash and Rods too. And they still have Fluger Rod and Reel combos for $59. Tell them you've gone fishing with the help of the Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville.
Gone fishing. Waste some time. Gone fishing.
And welcome back to Saturday morning's Shock Joxx Sports Talk Radio here. Kevin Hastings, Chip Carter, Terry Reinhart, and Tom Sinafani. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. Looking forward to, not sure where we're going to go to next. Now I sound like JP.
NBA playoff.
We're going to talk.
That's why I'm bringing my Hornet shirt out.
We're going to talk sports.
What?
That's
I think we're going to talk about.
He might be listening.
We
Tom.
miss you, JP.
He might be watching, Tom.
My bets would be no.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch when he's here, Kevin.
That's a fair point.
100%. He doesn't.
I mean, half the time we have to tell him to be quiet. Your mic's on and you're on the phone, or he's playing a game or something.
Turn that lightsaber sound.
Your phone's
effect
making
off.
lightsaber sounds.
Or that Darth Vader sound.
Look at
Bless his
hey,
heart.
look at that. Look at my shirt. Turn my shirt black. Look at that. Is it green? Because my shirt's a green screen.
I bet I've got the
my shirt's.
yeah, I've got the something on.
That's
home.
stylish.
Wherever
Look at that.
One of these has a.
I'm giving
Got a little stripe on.
I'm
the
giving the
shirt.
weather forecast now.
Oh, which one is that? Yeah, I see it. Chip lost his.
That's pretty neat.
I had to turn that off.
You don't like my PGA Championship shirt? Is this a protest?
No, we're gonna turn that off.
Boycotting that.
turn Chip's chroma key off.
There we go.
How about that one? There's Chip. That was really
glow in the dark.
He was.
I did
was radioactive for a second.
I did take Indiana to come back at 2-1 in that game, and that one shot that went boop and then went way up and then went through.
Wow!
And it was like it should have ended the game. Like his toe was on the line. I was like, what did I just watch? And it got so quiet in New York. I mean, and he did the Reggie Miller choke.
He did.
Yeah.
He
did
said
the
the greatest thing was Reggie Miller was in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that's going to come back and bite you because that was a 2, not a 3. So I'm thinking the whole time they're gonna come back to him, and they won. I mean, it was a good overtime too. I mean, I rarely sit there and watch the whole thing because there's so many fouls. I can't stand it. You know what I mean? It's so hard to get through. But they're not calling as many fouls in the playoffs as they have in the regular season.
Except when Shea Alexander has the ball.
Yeah, I know. They're always
and that is starting to aggravate me. They're up 2-0 on the Timberwolves, and I'm not blaming that, but the way he plays is just getting ridiculous at some point. And they're like, well, Kobe and Michael used to do that, and that's not what they didn't flop. They would draw the fouls, but they didn't flop like a little girl. That's the thing. Like if you're gonna flop, like if you're gonna get fouled and you want to draw fouls, that's basketball. But the flopping every time you get touched and throwing your hands up and acting like I'm my Twitter's down right now. I've got a bunch of things to show you of him and his little faces that he makes when he gets touched. And there was one foul he didn't even get the very first play of the series. And I thought the Timberwolves were going to wipe the floor with him when it happened. Gilchrist took it to the hole. Nobody touched him. He throws the ball up in the air, falls down on the ground, and Anthony Edwards just throws the ball at him. He's like, no, we ain't doing that. And they called a tech immediately. And I was sitting there thinking, I don't blame Anthony one bit because I'd have done the same thing. But two, them refs can't call a tech on him that early in the game like that in the series. Because, Terry, the rest of the game, if he gets in one argument, tech, now your star's out the game.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, he didn't like crow hop and hit him in the back of the head with the ball. Like, he just casually tossed it back to him. Because everybody in the building know that was a bull crap flop is what they do.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it. That would happen at any Y, any street, any basketball practice in the world. When he did what he did and didn't get touched, and Anthony just tossed it back to him like, man, look at this idiot. And now they're up 2-0, and they're like, okay, well, he shoots this many free throws. That ain't how many they won. That's not the deal. Terry, if you can't touch the point guard, and he gets fouled every time he touches, does that not completely change?
It changes
how you have to guard him.
It is.
Yeah.
It does, is it not?
Yeah. Who have y'all got winning that one?
I had Minnesota.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and you know sometimes I sit back
He's the
because
best player
I've
on the
seen
floor.
A few things that Anthony Edwards has said that, you know, and I guess on the back end of it, he's a great player. I'm never going to take nothing from him. He's one of the best in the NBA. But he also come out one time and said, back in the old days, there wasn't but one skilled player that played then, and that was Michael Jordan. You know, well, right off the bat, when he said that, Magic Johnson gets on there and says, I want to tell you something. We're talking about a guy who's never won a championship. We're talking about a guy who's never won anything in college. And he says, this guy's talking about this stuff?
These kids don't know anything.
You know, they do not know.
There's no point in asking them anything.
No.
There is.
You know, because Anthony Edwards, should have never come out of his mouth.
No. So Edwards in the last game had 39 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, no turnovers, 1 foul, and they got beat by 15.
Yeah.
So, like, again, like, if you don't have any help, here's their other starters. You got 6 points from Julius Randle. Like, you can't have that at all.
Yeah.
He's got to have 20. And you got McDaniels with 22, Gobert with 5, Conley 3.
This is almost like Jordan versus the
It
Pistons.
is. It is.
In a different context, but it's very, very similar to Jordan versus
But
the
like, how does Terry? You sit there and watch Caruso playing defense. How quick would he foul out if he was guarding Alexander? They would not allow him to do anything he does against Alexander, would they?
No.
The Wolves can't touch Alexander without getting a foul, and Caruso's allowed to just maul Anthony Edwards and everybody else. I don't get it. I get the fronting, the low post play. I don't mind it, but don't call the that hand crap that Alexander's doing outside the 3-point line. He's grabbing the defenders.
Yeah.
And man, he did that to McDaniels the other night, and they're friends. He just shoved him. He's like, and they asked him after the game. That was one of the highlights I was going to show you. And they were like, "Well, why'd you shove him?" He said, "I wanted to get a real foul on him." That's what he
get your money's worth.
And honestly, Terry, you're down 2-0. That is how you should guard him, shouldn't he? Every time they call one of those little flippy flop fouls and he throws his hands up, as soon as it's over, shove him to the ground. I would do it. And you saw Alexander go to the ground. What happened? You got shoved. At some point, they got to end it. Well, they've got a chance. They can either let it go and get beaten in the series, or they can toughen up and just start fouling the crap out of him. If you're going to foul him hard. If the ref's going to call it, foul him hard. Do you not have to?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I wish Twitter would come up. I had all kinds of highlights for that one, Tom. They're both now. Indiana takes a 2-0 lead. Both series up 2-0. Did we even pick the finals? I don't think we did last. We didn't get a chance.
But I mean, you got Indiana up 2-0 going home.
Yeah.
To me, all they got to do is win one. Then you go up 3-1, and I don't see New York beating them 3 straight.
Not after they lost game 1.
Yeah.
But in the other series, OKC's going up. I mean, they going home. I mean, they are at home, up 2 games to none, going to Minnesota. So if they can just pull one out.
Well, technically, the series isn't over until the away team wins. So we'll see if Minnesota can keep up with that. This is aggravating me. So Twitter, get your stuff together. At all the times when it'll work 7 days a week for about 10:15 this morning. It'll probably pull up.
You need to give Elon a call and ask him what's going on over there.
Well, he's a little bit more busy than
We need Doge to take a look at his Twitter, his X, to see why it's not efficient.
I know, man.
He's catching rockets.
He's catching rockets.
He's more worried about that than my Twitter feed right now. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I hope. Maybe he can get on it. Go ahead. I would tweet at him, but it's not working.
I still think the 3 best teams going into the playoffs, healthy and gelling, were Cleveland, Boston, and OKC, but the only one still standing is OKC. I think they're still the best team, and they're proving it right now. It's against I would say the best athlete, best talent in the league. He just doesn't have enough firepower around him. So I think it's going to be OKC, and looks like the Pacers have. Like you said, Terry, they've set New York up for failure at this point. They closed out the game. Can we give some props? And now Siakam obviously went otherworldly. We were talking about it during the break. I don't know if we forget, but we sure don't acknowledge just how blame good he is as a player. And then also Tyrese Halliburton is. He's like the human dagger, man. He's just in this series, the series before, he is just he's making baskets at crunch time. He's taking Big Shot Rob's place as the guy you want taking that shot at the end of the game.
The good news for Charlotte fans, Tom, is that we drafted LaMelo ahead of Halliburton, but so at least we get to sell extra hot dogs during the regular season. Oh, gracious.
Yeah,
Go Hornets.
solid pick.
Go Hornets. Good
solid pick. Maybe we could trade him to
Good
Indiana
pick.
for Halliburton.
Good pick.
Or maybe we could. I'd feel a lot better.
Trade for anything.
I'd feel a lot better if we could. If we had just had the chance to get one of the best players in the league. If we could have drafted, I don't know, maybe Charlotte could have drafted maybe SGA. Maybe they could have drafted SGA, and we could have tried to build around him. Oh wait, we did, didn't we?
Oklahoma City has had 3 MVPs. And only one of them, 3. There's all 3 still in the league, and one of them is there. Hornets can't get a number 1 pick. We can't get a franchise player in 30 years. They've had 3 MVPs. They just started their franchise, and basically, they moved from Seattle, but and they messed up. How do you mess up? And that's the thing about NBA. LeBron, this is how bad he messed up the NBA. What if Westbrook, Harden, and KD just stayed together? That's all they had to do.
Yeah,
that's all you had to do.
They were there. They drafted 3 great players, and they jumped around the league.
But you're talking about
KD's the only one with a ring, and
you're
the
probably
other 2 don't.
Talking about the 3 biggest, moody, I dare say, prima donna personalities, and they just couldn't. They couldn't coexist.
Westbrook and Harden being both ball dominant killed it. And then the thing about Durant, and even now, Terry, he don't call for a shot. He don't go, every time give me the ball. He works the offense. When he gets it, he shoot it, obviously, but he's not demanding the ball. He'll go to the game. He'll have 17 shots. You're like, why is Kevin Durant shooting 17 shots and the point guard's got 25?
Yeah.
And he's always been that way. And so those 2 hogging the ball, I remember watching that series and watching Harden come off the bench. And every time he come off the bench, he would start his crap, and Durant would never touch the ball. And I'm sitting there watching that. I'm like, they're not going to win this because of that. Mm-hmm. And then I thought from the get-go that it was Harden's fault that they lost that championship because of the way he came off the bench and played a lot selfishly, which is what you're supposed to score. But I think he forgot a lot about Durant and them. But what I was saying about OKC, though, back then, three MVPs: Durant, Westbrook, and now Gilgeous-Alexander. You just said Hornets drafted Gilgeous-Alexander as well, so we're good with that. We drafted Kobe, drafted Shea. We trade the ones we actually draft, Terry, which is what's weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Do y'all have either the Knicks or the Wolves with any chances of coming back now on this one? Tom?
Well, honestly, Kevin, I've paid more attention to the Indiana Knicks series, but it's kind of like what happened to Cleveland in Game 1, and Cleveland just never recovered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see the Knicks recovering from it's the same thing. Is a game at home you should have won and you lost, and then you turn around and get beaten Game 2. It seemed like Game 2 is the one Cleveland let get away from. They lost Game 1 at home, and then they let Game 2 get away from. You lost 2 at home.
Yeah.
You ain't coming back from that, dude. I'm just telling you, man, you're not coming back from losing the first 2 at home. In Minnesota, I'm like you, Kevin. I really like Anthony Edwards, but what do they have to go with him right now? Gobert, you say, had 5 points? Is that what he had?
Yeah. No, Julius Randle had 6.
Come on, Rudy. Come on. I mean, it's like there's no way he can do. He can't beat Oklahoma City by himself. So I think it's going to be Indiana, Oklahoma City, which is good for the league. 2 small market teams.
Between the 4 teams, the last championship was 30-some years ago by the Knicks. Between the 4 teams left.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I said. I like the NBA this year. I mean, even Cleveland. I mean, their season ends in disappointment. But there's a lot of the smaller market teams doing well.
You talking about making the championship?
No, winning.
When's the last
time?
Yeah,
winning.
But the league's got to hate this. No Los Angeles, no Boston, Chicago. No major media market is left. Which
They're
I
begging
I
for the
love
Knicks
it.
to win.
I love it. Except for the Knicks. I should say except for the Knicks.
Begging for the Knicks.
But I just
it's been longer than that. It was 1973.
Well, the Sonics were 77, if that counts.
Okay.
I think it's 77.
I just hope. I just hope
79.
At this point, one of those smaller market teams is going to win. Going to win the championship. I'm going to enjoy that.
46 years.
Yeah. Oh,
since one of the teams in 79.
One of the New York Knicks fans had an old John Starks video where he got knocked down and he gets up and hits it. He goes, "We got knocked down. We can get back up." I said, "Son, you don't lose 2 at home."
He was a plumber, wasn't he?
So probably was.
John
Yeah.
Starks. No, that's what the kids say today. Is they're plumbers.
Yeah. I mean, they have no.
Dominique Wilkins there. He was a.
He wasn't an athlete.
If
why does nobody ever talk about him? By the way,
if Dominique Wilkins could jump, he might have been good.
Yeah,
if that's some athletic ability,
he's only like 5th or 6th. He's in the top 10 scoring all time.
Yeah.
One of the best dunkers ever, and nobody ever says his name.
Yeah.
Michael silenced his name by winning everything.
Correct.
Yeah,
he really did.
It's kind of like playing. It's kind of like playing golf when Tiger Woods played golf.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like one guy was so dominant. You forget about Duvall,
Yeah.
I mean,
Chip, would you have ever heard of Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy if they were playing in 1998?
Nope. You wouldn't have.
2000.
You just wouldn't have.
They were showing the wins thing as far as Tiger in his first 250 starts. Is like Scotty's got like 15, and Scotty has to win like 50 of his next 101 starts to tie Tiger's wins.
He was so
in his
dominant,
first 250.
Yeah. He was so
and that's why
dominant.
people don't get, like, you'd go play golf on Sunday, you look at the screen on TV at the turn, and every time, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. If he's in the tournament, he's on the screen in the top 5 or 10.
And if he was up on day 4, forget it.
Yeah. He was the best front runner of all time in the final round. Absolutely, especially in majors.
And then he ruined his mind. That's what made him so good. He was so mentally tough.
Yes.
And then his mind just went to, I'm going to hook up with waitresses in the Perkins parking lot.
When he made himself
I was like,
vulnerable.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
When you made himself vulnerable.
What are you doing? But anyway, getting back to basketball, that's what we're really talking about.
Correct.
Like I said, I'm a small market fan. So whenever a small market wins or is doing well, Let's go ahead. You know, it's kind of funny too. And I'm watching all these New York people cry. It's all they do is cry, man. It's just like you guys dump all this money into your teams and you still suck, and all you do is cry. I'm just so tired of listening to New York City fans cry. So I'm enjoying the Knicks being down too. I hope they get swept, really. It'd be Indiana, Oklahoma City. That'd be two flyover states. In the championship, but I love it. I love it.
I think I picked New York to win the series, and I at this point I think I'm gonna be wrong. I don't think they're gonna be able to dig themselves out of this.
No,
them or Minnesota, either one.
Brunson, he cries too, man. It's like every time he gets touched, he's like crying.
That's why they traded for him. Jeez. Good fit. He's a good fit for the city.
He's always crying, man.
Dallas had him and Luka and Porzingis.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just making trades when you got people that can score 30 on the game. I just wish the Hornets had one person that could score 30 a game, and Terry, and these teams just trade 2 and 3 away. we want one, not the guy that takes 75 shots to get 30 though. With Lamelo. Okay, I've got some video back. Thank God. All right, let's watch.
Elon must have heard you.
Let's watch this. All right, so this is McDaniels just shoving him. Yeah, I'm getting a foul here. I had to watch Gil. He goes, what happened? Oh. Terry, shove his butt down every time, right? Right? Come on, man. Get off the floor. That's what he does every play. It's so accurate.
Hey, based on
what watch this hook right here. This is what he's doing. Watch Gilgeous-Alexander's left hand. So he's grabbing the defender, and they're calling on the defenders. And that's what they're getting mad about. And that's why he pulled off right there. He's asking, hey, you grabbed my elbow. He's like, all right, y'all want to call a foul? Whoop.
Here, I'm gonna get my money's worth.
I love it. That's what he should be doing.
Based on Terry's arguments about the past month, SGA has the right to basically just karate chop him at that point or punch him.
Look at this foul call on Edwards.
That's perfect defense.
Where's the foul?
That is such good defense.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh my God!
On his way up.
No.
Got him on his hand.
If that's a foul,
right there. Boom.
If that's a foul, just turn the game.
He lost the ball on that right there. He hit him on the elbow.
Terry, and you wonder why all these parents are cussing you at Little League.
No, look, that's how come he lost the ball. That's how come he lost the ball.
Terry,
Watch, he loses the ball.
Terry, God
right
almighty.
there, he bumped him on his elbow.
Terry, do you know that people listen?
That's a foul, Tom. That's a foul. See, he loses the ball. He don't even have it.
He loses the ball because he's trying to put it in one hand away
because
from the
he hit him on the elbow right there. Is where he lost the ball.
I want you
that
to bookmark this
foul
for the next time you show a clip of Draymond. Okay,
that
please,
is a foul.
Please.
He shouldn't have gotten near him, so he put him in a headlock and DDT'd him.
Yeah.
Y'all, see, that's where y'all. I'm telling you, man, y'all like 100 miles behind me.
I'm not calling that a foul.
Here's Brunson doing the same type of stuff. Look at this. Grabs the arm. And Brunson grabs the defender and hits his soul's face.
He smacks himself.
He smacked himself. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a foul. Look, he hit me in the face. That's a tech. That's right. See?
This is so.
These boys got to stop this.
I mean, it's you know what? As a ref, I think it could be hard to see because you automatically think. You automatically think the contact is initiated by the defense, but you see this in soccer too.
Yes,
because you'll see the offensive player, and this is how idiotic some of these coaches are. Like you'll see the offensive player take the arm and shove or lower the shoulder, and you'll hear somebody say, "How could it be a foul on them? They had the ball." Yeah. That's what people think. Yeah. That's how dumb they are.
It's whoever initiates the contact.
Correct.
It's not that hard to call.
And that's what I say. They initiated the call. What? He had the ball.
I hate the refs that'll allow a defender to bump a guy. The guy will double dribble or travel, and they'll call the double dribble or travel. And I'm like, what? He didn't travel because he just, like you just said, Terry, you thought he bumped it. You fouled him right there. He didn't lose the ball because he got fouled. That's what happened. This is Gilgeous-Alexander. Is anybody touching him right here?
Not that I see.
Well, somebody had. He's got 3 people
Casper
around
the
him.
Ghost is infecting his body right now because he looks like he's losing his soul.
Yeah, one of them touched him.
This is the play Anthony Edwards threw the ball at him at because he just dove on the ground after this, and he's like, man, whatever. Just silly. I can't deal with it.
I think they need to get much more serious about against flopping.
The refs got to sit in the room, right, Terry, during the series and go like, "Hey, man, did you not see this?" Like,
Well,
we gotta
they
keep an
should
eye
go
on
back
this.
and
They'll go to
look
Minnesota,
at what
right?
they call.
Minnesota probably win this next game by what, 25?
They better
knowing
win.
the NBA.
They better.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. All right, Terry. Speaking of Joxx Alexander, you're gonna like this one. Here's the kids today. Chip, you want to read that out loud for our radio fans out there?
I'm going to try to say this without puke coming into my mouth here. SGA, definitely a top 15 basketball player ever. Peak for peak. First response. Over who? Let's hear it. Next response. I think he's clearly a better player than Bird.
There you go, Terry. That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's when people have never seen basketball.
Talk to
Because I guarantee SGA, if Bird was out there, he'd be like, look, little buddy, come here. This is what I'm going to do to you.
Yes. Talk to the people who played against Bird. Talk to Magic. Talk to Worthy. Talk to Kareem.
Chip. Those guys weren't any good either.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, it's no worse than Anthony Edwards coming up and saying what he said. The only player who had any skill back in was
Talk
Michael
to Jordan.
Talk
to Jordan.
And what we said about Dominique earlier, there was a time, it was Bird and Magic was the argument of who was the better player.
Mm-hmm.
And when Michael come up and he started taking that throne, there was arguments where the Bird people thought that it was Bird and Jordan, and the Magic people thought it was Magic and Jordan. And the kids today and people today have no idea that argument was ever even had.
Right.
There were people I know people in this town who would argue till their face blew off that Bird was better than Michael. That was before the 6. That was when he had 2 or 3. I remember that. That argument.
There's the reason Nintendo came out with Jordan versus Bird one-on-one as a Nintendo game, you know?
Right. So they don't get. They can sit. I tell you, how can they sit there and watch Jokic and watch Luka, and then turn around and say the Birds of the world and the Dominiques of the worlds couldn't play today with more spacing and you can't foul them. Like think about it. And that's why I tried to tell somebody the other day. I was like, yeah, let me tell you about Larry Bird. He's Luka Doncic, but better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I can say to you. He's Luka Doncic. However good you think Luka is, they were like, could Luka play? It was this SGA thing, the argument in that they were like, could Bird couldn't guard SGA and he would destroy him one-on-one. I'm like, if you would say that about Luka, then say it. But I don't think y'all will because y'all know better, right? Mm-hmm. They won't say Luka's going to get destroyed by anybody in this league one-on-one. But they'll come out and say Bird will get destroyed by the 8th man on the Charlotte Hornets.
Bird was Luka, but before his back went out,
Correct.
Bird was Luka before in good shape.
Correct.
That's Bird. And probably a better shooter.
I knew Terry would like that one.
And plus, he could play defense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, that too.
And plus, he didn't cry the whole game.
And he has eyes in the back of his head. He's an infinitely better passer than Luka.
I think that's all I got on that.
And it's amazing when you think of stuff like that. That's just like when Mikal and what was it? The guy from the Lakers, Kurt
Rambis.
Yeah. But they got in their fight. There was never a foul called in that play.
Yeah.
And they went after each other. There was no foul call. Now you do that,
Check it back
forget
in,
it.
boys.
Jordan rules. I mean, the Knicks in the 90s. I mean, against Jordan.
But that was all sports. I remember one time George Brett slid into third base and the guy picked up his leg. George Brett takes and clocks him in the face. I can't remember. It was early 80s. So there's a full-on brawl.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a full-on brawl. Thinking it cleared up. George Brett's still a third base.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't. No. Dude
Nothing
threw
happened.
a haymaker that connected, and they didn't throw him out of the game. He's still over at third base.
Runners go back to third.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They put him back at third. It's like, I need to find that clip because I was just watching some reels one time, and I can't remember what, Brett slid in and, grabbed his leg, but you didn't do that to George Brett. He got up and just clocked it. Bench is clear. Get it all, Bailey. Okay, Brett, you're still a third. I just got that out of the game because he's George Brett, I guess. I mean, anybody else would have been thrown out of that game. But they used to do that back in the day.
It's against the Yankees. It was Greg Nettles. It was against the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, you need to show that clip, man. It's really, man, it's something, man. It's like, how's he still at third base? You know.
Wow. All right, boys. This weekend's schedule here on KTC Broadcasting. We've got the Braves today against San Diego at 3:55. The BetGM 300 at 4 o'clock on WCSL. That Braves game will be on 101.5 FM for you folks listening. East Rutherford today. We've got the Western Championship Game 3 today at noon. Coverage begins at first pitches at noon. Gates open at 10:30 this morning. If you're going up to that, East Rutherford hosting West Stanley. Coverage starts at 11:30 on WAGY FM 107.5. If you can't hear it on the radio, hear it online, WAGYFM.com, KTCBroadcasting.com. You can also go to YouTube and pull that up and listen to it there, audio with Brent Pasco and Brian Free. All right, when we come back, we got more to talk about. We've got, let's see, we've got NFL news. We've got some golf news, got a bunch of golf, and we also got some Major League Baseball stuff to talk about as well. We'll be back in a few minutes here, KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's a gigantic closeout on last year's pool supplies at today's Pro in Shelby. They've got to be sold to make room for new inventory. Prices have been reduced drastically. You can save up to 50%. All pool supplies, including pool chemicals, they've got to go. And for those backyard cookouts, remember today's Pro does propane refills, and they carry Monessa and Empire Stove imports. That's today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at todayspro.com. Like them on Facebook, too.
They're waiting on you. Great deals on pre-owned vehicles at Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop in Kings Mountain. On the lot now, a 2006 Acura MDX all-wheel drive, sale priced at $13,995. Also a 2018 Honda Odyssey EXL, only 70,000 miles, sale priced at $22,995. And a 2013 Toyota Highlander all-wheel drive for $12,995. Hurry on in now to Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain, online at oakgroveauto.com.
At Coyote, we're going to treat you like dirt because we hold dirt in the highest regard. We're honored to find it under our fingernails, lucky to be caked in it at day's end. It keeps us humble, honest. Dirt gets taken for granted by most, but if you know us, you know getting treated like dirt means getting treated with respect. Coyote, we dig dirt.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sales, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vale. This month's Scholar Athlete of the Month is Madeline Huffman of Kings Mountain High School. The award is sponsored by McDonald's, KTC Broadcasting, and WhatsUpShopper.com. Madeline is the daughter of Terry and Susan Huffman. Madeline is a junior at Kings Mountain and is a pitcher and plays shortstop for her softball team. Madeline has a 4.5217 grade point average. Her advanced courses include 2 advanced placement courses and 7 CCP courses. Her extracurricular activities include the Beta Club, Teens for Courage Club, and the Math Club. She attends Oak Grove Baptist Church. She is also a volunteer for the Boyce Memorial Church Pumpkin Patch. After graduation, Madeline plans to play softball at Western Carolina and major in biology. The McDonald's, KTC Broadcasting, What's Up Shopper Student Athlete Award not only recognizes the accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievement in the classroom and community. Sponsored by McDonald's, KTC Broadcasting, and WhatsUpShopper.com. You can book your tee times online at the Glen Oaks Golf Course in Maiden. Just go online at glenoaksgolf.com. Pick out your tee time and book it. Check out their pro shop, snack bar, driving range, and banquet hall. And memberships are available. For more information, call 828-428-2451. Or again, go online at glenoaksgolf.com and like them on Facebook too.
Why choose Kubota for your new compact tractor? All the options in the market can make the choice difficult, but don't lock yourself in before you've seen what Kubota can offer. We've been selling reliable tractors in the U.S. for over 50 years. Your Kubota dealer can help you select the right tractor at a price you can afford and then support your purchase after the sale. Stop by your dealer today for a tractor you can count on for years to come.
Your Kubota dealer in this area is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, Kings Mountain.
Performance meets power at Boyd Tire and Appliance and Boyd Lawn and Garden in Clover. See the new John Deere mowers, the Gravely mowers, and the Aaron's mowers. Ask about 0% financing for up to 36 months, plus a full line of Stihl and Echo trimmers. Keep your lawn looking sharp with a stop in at Boyd Tire and Appliance and Boyd Lawn and Garden, located at 110 North Main Street in Clover. Online at BoydTireandAppliance.com.
Congratulations to all of our area graduates from everyone at Mooney Insurance Agency in Maiden and in Denver. Hard work yields great results, and we couldn't be more proud of you. Your graduation is a big step for more success to come. And a special graduation salute to Ethan Rhodes, a graduate of NC State University. Congratulations again from everyone at Mooney Insurance Agency, 1205 East Main Street in Maiden, and also at 3674 Highway 16 North in Denver. Online at MooneyInsurance.com. Every day is a good day to head to Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill in Bessemer City and in Gastonia. On Tuesday, it's BLT and chips for $5.99. On Wednesday and Sunday, it's jumbo wings for $1.50 and natural lights $1.50 each. On Thursdays, it's Chick-fil-A sandwiches for just $4. And on Friday and Saturdays, natural lights just $2 each. And check out the great daily lunch specials at your nearest Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill, 201 West East Pennsylvania Avenue in Bessemer City and 199 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at whiskeymill.com, open 7 days a week.
Here once again with the head Silverado guy at the undealership, Fred Caldwell Chevrolet in Clover, Martin McKinley, and welcome to Championship Month in the Carolinas.
One of the biggest golf championships in the world is happening.
One of the biggest racing championships in the world is happening.
As the saying goes, legends will be made.
And they can join the roster headed by the legendary Fred Caldwell Chevrolet in Clover, always treating their customers like champions.
Especially at 48 months, 0% on a brand new 1500 Silverado.
As always, reach out directly to Martin. Call or text that number again,
704-534-1014.
Have you ever walked away from a car buying experience feeling like you just sunk the winning putt? Have you ever walked away from a car buying experience feeling like the whole thing took about the same time as a pit stop?
Then together, let's drive to Fred Caldwell Chevrolet in Clover.
Online anytime at fredcaldwellchevy.com, and that number again,
704-534-1014.
OAC restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Before you hit the road, head to Zeus Auto Repair and Performance in Lincoln. With over 30 years of experience, they promise you'll be completely satisfied with their work. From an oil change to brakes to a North Carolina inspection to a tune-up, they are there for you. Get on the road again with a stop in at Zeus Auto Repair and Performance, 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincoln. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. Online at ZeusAutoRepair.com.
There's no background music or sound effects in this commercial as to draw your attention. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance has a long tradition of meeting the insurance needs of its customers. Maxwell B. Hamrick continues offering you the best policy possible by insurers that are proven and trusted. Make sure to ask about the companies they work with when you talk with one of their certified agents. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance, 116 North Main Street, Boiling Springs, 1719 South Lafayette Street in Shelby, and MB Hamrick. INS.com.
All right, welcome back to Saturday morning Shock Dog Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings along with Chip Carter. No JP today. Terry Reinhardt and Tom Cinefani. I usually have some fun Twitter highlights for most of the sports, but Twitter is mostly down right now. I do got some baseball that stayed alive. Let's go with this one. How about the catch of the week? It just means different things to certain different people, I guess. Check this out.
Look at that.
That's a heck of a catch.
Wow.
I got it.
Now, this is at the games I was at because this is Cardinals at Braves,
Yeah.
actually. So this is.
I don't know if she's shocked or pleased or both, but either way, whatever the case is,
Thank you, Mary.
It's like the dude in the Sandlot that sticks his glove up, remember? The ball
Making
just
a sign of the cross.
Yeah, did you see her face?
She's so excited.
Love it. Look at that.
That's a heck of a catch.
Only Braves fan I've ever seen in my life, Terry. That can catch a baseball.
I don't know if she's shocked or pleased or both.
Just elected a new pope, man. She's happy. Get that girl a Cardinals shirt. She looks so much prettier in red.
She is Catholic. She needs to be a Cardinal. She needs to be a. There you go.
Well, hey, the Cardinals started doing really well once they got elected as the Pope.
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
How about this one? With one out, bottom 9. Team leads 4-3. Reno's got bases loaded. Guy hits a gapper for a double for the win, but let's see what happens.
The 3-2 payoff. Line drive. Base hit right center field. That one's going all the way to the gap. That scores Garcia. Pache ran into a teammate. Pache ran into a teammate around third base. Is that obstruction? Is that obstruction? He ran into a teammate who was out on the field to celebrate. And the ruling is out. He is out because he ran into a teammate. The game is not over, but now trying to score from third is the runner from first, Weber, but it should be a dead ball, or is it? No, they say it's not a dead ball, and now 2 runs have scored, and now the ball game is over. I do not believe.
All right, Terry, you ready? You want to be involved in this call? So he ran in, the guy rounded third and runs in, we're right here, watch this, runs into a teammate celebrating. So what's the call, boys? Is that dead?
Good question. I think we have.
Ran into a teammate around third base. Is that obstruction?
Well, that guy's out of the baseline. Guys, are you right? Whoever he's supposed to be, he's out of the baseline.
I thought that's the guy that would end up scoring.
Right. That's what I was wondering. He ran out to. So he goes out to second.
He was the hitter.
He was the hitter. Okay. So at least he wasn't the guy that ended up scoring. Terry, is that just too much of a mess for you?
Well, not really, because somewhere along the line, me or Tom's going to have to make a call.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the bottom line, you know. I'd like to see the whole play.
It's kind of like I would treat that as like the bat flip on a home run. You're going to let him touch the bases, and then you're going to eject him from the game. I'm going to let him score, and then I'm going to eject the guy who's out of the dugout during live ball. That's what I'm going to do, you know, because it's just one of those situations where it didn't really affect the game, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like the bat flip. Does it affect the game? No. But you should be ejected because it's against the rules. You're not allowed to leave the dugout area during live ball play. But there's no, like, automatic out if you do, Terry. You know what I mean? So the way I'm going to handle it is I'm going to say, okay, run scores, 32's ejected. I'm going to turn it in. You know what I mean? And then the powers that be.
We obviously didn't, like, help him score because he tackled him.
Right.
Well,
quite the contrary.
Well, the problem you had on this play also is he automatically called that guy out. But then the next guy come in and
yeah,
scored.
but he's not out. I don't think he's out, Terry. Not in that one. I mean, why would he be out? Like somebody.
That's my question. Is that the coach touching the runner type thing?
No,
but
he's physically assisting a runner.
Right.
Yeah, but
he tackled him.
But like a coach physically assisting a runner would be, okay, he's rounding third, and I don't want him to try, so I hold my hand up and touch him. That he's
That's
out.
not what
Or
that
you
was.
push him to go.
Right. That's not what that was.
And that is, I mean, that's not even a dead ball. That ball stays live and in play.
So basically, technically, the same thing would be is him running out there, giving the guy a high five before he scores, and then Tommy's like, dude, you're out of here.
You have to.
Right. That's what I just want to make sure. All right. I showed you that girl's catch. We got to vote. Was that catch or is this catch the catch of the week? This is Andy Van Slyke.
Wow. That's a name I hadn't heard.
Back when he played for the Pirates and not the Cardinals. So let's check this play out, see what you guys think. Is this the better catch than the lady we just saw? Andy Van Slyke, guys, is batting. Pop up behind the catcher. He steals the catcher's glove and then makes the play. How's that one, guys? Is that better than the girls?
That's a spring training.
I was getting ready to say, this has got to be something besides. You just don't do that.
Pops it up, steals the catcher's mitt. and then Van Slyke with the catch. You ever seen that, Terry?
Pretty good reflexes.
Wow.
He was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
That's a name people don't talk about back in the. That's an old plumber.
What's his war?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. It was a minor league home run derby, is what that was.
He
just having a little fun. Having a little fun.
Well, he gets forgot because he was on both sides of him in his outfield were two legendary players playing at the peak of their some Bonds was at the peak for a long time, but Bonilla in right field, that was his best part of his career.
How about this? This is just crazy. All right, this is let me make sure I get the right batter so I can say his name for everybody. This is let's see, Trent Grisham hitting the exact same ball in back-to-back at bats, and the center fielder taking the exact same track to these balls. I can't. This looks fake, but it's not. Watch this, guys. This is amazing. This is John Boy Media doing the audio.
What if I told you this is actually two balls flying through the air, two fielders chasing it down? That's right. Trent Grisham hit a home run in the top of the third. It goes to dead center. J-Rod's chasing it. It actually is going to go off his glove and then over the wall. In his next at-bat, he says, I'll just hit it to the same spot a little bit farther. No way you can catch this one. Hits the same exact home run. This is stuff I would pray about. Look at the overlay.
This is
Watch
two videos
the
on top of
overlay.
each other.
I'll pause it right here. That looks like one ball in the middle of your screen on the grass. I'm going to toggle off one of them. Same exact spot. See the umpire and the fielder? Now there's two. Now there's one.
Is that not just crazy in general that everything there's the same?
Nothing is changing with the ball. They're in the same exact spot. That's the one later. Got a little darker. Look at the ball in the middle. Barely moves. They're flying through the air at the same speed, the same angle, the same trajectory. It's incredible. And J-Rod's route was exactly the same. He actually becomes one person right here before it goes over the wall.
That's impressive.
Isn't that's awesome?
That's weird.
That's X-Files stuff.
I was about to say, is that proof of that we're living in a simulation? There's the proof right there.
Skynet becomes self-aware April 14th.
That's not what we wanted. Like somewhere Sarah Connor's shaking her head everywhere. Let's see if how about this one?
The Matrix.
Batting average all time with two strikes.
I'm going to see either Ted Williams or Tony Gwynn.
You're right on Tony Gwynn. The number 4, we're going to do that. I'm going to show you guys. Let's see if I can do it this way. How about that?
Not looking.
Oh, I can show it on this screen. How about this? There we go. All right. So for the folks at home can see, top 5 all-time batting averages of 2 strikes. Number 2, Wade Boggs at 262.
That's pretty. That makes sense.
Luis Polonia at 261. Juan Pierre 259, and Todd Helton at 258. Now remember, number 2 is batting 262. That's a little bit better than league average now in baseball. Terry, you know what's funny? We need to look that up real quick, guys, because I think it's close. They made fun of Michael Jordan for hitting like 250 in minor leagues, and he's hitting better than like everybody in Major League Baseball right now. It's close, whatever that number was. Number 1 is Tony Gwynn. 262 was in second place. What do you think Tony Gwynn's average was? 2 strikes.
301.
Chip?
I'm going to say 278.
Tom getting.
I'd say about 280, yeah.
Terry is almost right.
Wow.
302.
Wow.
With 2 strikes. Yeah, I got 2 strikes. I'll tell you what I'm going to throw into him. I don't know. He's still going to hit it.
What's his regular lifetime batting average?
It's like 350, 340, 320.
Yeah, but he didn't hit a lot of home runs. He probably only hit like 20 or 25 home runs.
338. 338.
How many home runs did he hit in his career?
Yeah, while you're there.
I'll
More than you think, Tom. Like 200, maybe.
I don't think it was that many. No, I don't even think it's close to 200.
Oh, let's.
I bet it's under 100.
Tony
Ozzie
Gwynn.
Smith numbers.
I don't
he's
think
fat
he hit
enough
a
to
lot.
get
135.
There we go.
There you go.
I told you it wasn't a lot, though.
He hit double-digit home runs 5 years out of 20.
Right. Usually he had 6 or 7 home runs. I mean, he just didn't hit a lot of home runs. I can't.
He had a lot of doubles.
I just can't believe he's gone, man.
Yeah.
No lie.
Dang.
The batting average now in baseball is 244.
If you go to Kansas City, it's lower than that.
Well done, Terry.
That's right.
It's kind of funny how it's baseball's hard to figure out. Cleveland struggles. They a 10-game stretch. They go 3-7. I think they lost 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 to the Twins. It's like here comes Detroit. All right, now they're going to get swept, and they win the first 2 of the series. Now they may lose the 2 back in.
All right, well
it's just so hard to figure out.
MLB average real quick is 244. Jordan batted 202. So he was over the Mendoza line, but isn't that like Schwarber's average, like 198?
I hate Schwarber. You know what? You know what though? He did. In 16, he killed us. Yeah. He absolutely, and he couldn't even play the field.
Yeah.
And Cleveland had home field advantage in that series, and at that time, no DH in the National League. Yeah. If Chicago had home field advantage, Schwarber could only play 3 games instead of 4.
Yeah.
And Cleveland might have won that series.
It's like home field advantage played against them.
Right,
in that
it
one.
did, man. It's just,
it's funny you bring up about how baseball's weird.
Well, that's always been unfair to the National League, the World Series in that sense. If the American League gets the home field advantage, it's because you have your best hitter's sitting over there, and the National League's best hitter's not sitting over there. Now it's not like that anymore.
What I don't understand is son, can we not? Can you not put him at first base? It's still an infield position. You still have to be, still, if you're a good
Well,
bat.
that's what the Blue Jays did. You think about that 90s Blue Jays, they moved Joe Carter to first base or something, I think.
But there's still skill involved.
But Rafael Devers can't play first base.
It's still an infield position. You're still going to get some hot shots at you. You don't have to worry about making that long throw across like a third base. You know what I mean? But still, you got to have skill over there. But if a guy's a good bat, I'm gonna say, okay, well, if it's a hot shot, just get out of the way. It's okay. We need your bat in the game. It just seems to me like, okay, well, you got this good hitter. We're gonna find a place for you to play. We're gonna try to hide you somewhere.
It's funny you talk about baseball, Tom, and how funny it is to try to figure out the Yankees get on a good run. And talking about the last 10 games, Yankees get on a good run, go 7-3 or 8-2, something like that, and then they lose to Colorado last night. That's just.
I'm just telling you, man. Cleveland's hard to figure out, man.
What about the Rockies? Worst 50-game start since 1895.
I saw that Cleveland earlier in the week, Terry, were all the way down to just above the White Sox, and now they're back to second. But look at it. It changes every day.
Parity.
Yeah, it just changes every day in the Central. In Detroit.
Well, look at the East isn't much. Look at the West. Look, the first to fifth, it's only separated by 8 games.
But think about it, Tom. Right now, the top 4 teams in the Central would be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They would. A lot of baseball left.
Oh yeah.
A lot of baseball left. We're not even. What are we, 50 games in?
That's when I always tell people to look and see where you're at after 50 games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in the playoffs or are you not? So, Kansas City just cannot score. We got 4 or 5 guys on our lineup batting 220 or less. How in the world can you? How do you win? You got to hope Reagans and everybody else goes out there, and Luka and Walker, all them go out there and hold a team to 1 run.
220, that's a pretty good batting average nowadays.
It's not the product it once was.
No. And we got beat by Minnesota, and we're on a 3-game stretch in Minnesota. Now.
And I'll go back to what Kevin and all them think. I think all this TrackMan and all this BS about the square strike, these players, I don't think have the approach of I can hit the pitch where it's pitched. It's like you watch them like in challenge balls and strikes in leagues they can. And I look at it and say, man, that was a strike. But you go on a TrackMan, it was an inch inside. Right. It's like, look, man, if you can't hit a pitch that's an inch off the plate.
Yep.
Seriously. I really think it's hurt the game. I think that the mentality is that, man, it's got to be in that square. I can't go for hit a pitch off the plate or hit a pitch up.
What's the strategy? And you might differ. But what's the old school strategy with 2 strikes?
Protect.
Choke up.
Yeah, choke up.
Choke up and lengthen and Protect the strike zone.
I tell all my kids, if your bat can touch the ball, swing it because the umpire is going to call it a strike.
I just don't like.
The little kids, especially in the little kids, like don't go up there and stare. I had a kid, one of our best hitters the other night. First pitch in the dirt, swung and missed. Second pitch almost hit him. He did a defensive like baby swing, and I'm like, "What in the world are you doing?" Third pitch, watched it go right down the middle.
Yeah.
And he wants to blame the umpire. It was outside or high. I'm like, no. You swung at 2 garbage pitches and then decided to watch the best pitch. I said, you and your mother swung at that. Everybody in this park watched that same pitch you did. I said, the difference is you came to practice and then did that.
You would have loved me in the youth league, Kevin. I normally didn't take the bat off my shoulder till I had 2 strikes.
God, I hate y'all.
I led our team in walks and strikeouts.
I love the kids. Let me say this out loud. I love the kids, but I hate them little kids that just stand there hoping for a walk. Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
There's one on our team. I'm like, dude, there's no point in you taking a bat to the batter's box. He dodges the pitch when it's halfway there. He's out. I said, just stand there and do this. You like booga booga booga. And he's sitting there laughing at me because he thinks it's funny. I'm like, I'm serious.
It wasn't funny
to me. You
swung
at a pitch this year. Yeah. But anyway, back to that, Tom. The whole strike zone thing. Again, I hate it on TV. You see it on Twitter. They'll show the pitch, and like you said, they'll miss by like this much, and like worst umpire ever. I'm like, that's 100 miles per hour,
right?
Fast,
yeah.
Right? Did you see the Boston guy that got thrown out this week? That was one of the videos I was going to show. That was one of the big things. Did y'all see this? All right. So, reliever for Boston's in, or no, starter's in. Sorry, I didn't even know reliever, and I might have the video now that's reloaded, and he throws a pitch low. Okay, it's like a curveball or something. I can't tell exactly what it was. Well, the guy's stealing. Catcher stands up before that ball gets there, Terry. So you can see the video if you watch it slow. His head's coming and that ball's crossing, right? So I think he saw the ball was coming low. Okay, the catcher got in his way, just assumed it was low. According to the screen, it caught the low corner. Okay. Well, they throw it down to second. The pitcher asks where that ball was. The ump says ball 2-0. Pitcher says that was right down the effing middle. Umpire takes his helmet off and tells him to get back on the effing mound. And the pitcher says, F you, he gets tossed. And now the Red Sox fans are mad at the crybaby umpire for making a show about it, when in fact, 100%. If you're going to go by the little screen, yes, it was probably a strike. But again, low outside corner with the catcher moving and stealing and stands up in front of you, you can miss that one without having to eject the starting pitcher in the second inning. It's like a 2-0 count, Terry.
I hate for
and you're
my
getting
catcher
tossed
to
on a
be
2-0 count.
Yeah, I hate for my catcher to be moving.
Well, obviously, to me, I thought he obstructed his vision a little bit. And even if he didn't matter, still, my point is, why are you arguing a call? Why are you FUing an umpire over a 2-0 count in the second inning? You got 4 more balls.
I mean, it's just, no matter what league I do, I mean, it's like, what are you arguing? Like, it'll be maybe a 2-0. And every once in a while, Terry, you know, and I know that I do it. It's like, okay, I'm trying to find a strike, and you call one that's too far outside. Okay, so maybe it's 2-0, 3-0. You call that strike. And you wish you hadn't.
Yeah.
You know what you got caught doing? You got caught looking for a strike, okay? Oh, they got to step out and pout and do it. It's like, dude, how many pitches am I going to call today? This guy's struggling. I know I missed it, man. You don't need to go over there and pout.
Yeah.
I think my thing is,
I'm sorry.
I don't understand batters that go up looking for walks. That's my thing, the average.
And the ones that hate me is the ones that get in there and all of a sudden you'll say, ball 2. And then the batter will turn around and look at you. What's the count?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm waiting because that's what I want to do. Then the next pitch is thrown down the middle, and you'll say strike, and they'll go.
I can't stand. I just can't stand the batters that are looking for walks. Go up there, swing the bat. Exactly. Like I've never walked up to the plate in my life, Terry, thinking, man, I hope I get walked here, boys. God, please don't let me swing.
You know what?
That's it's not kids, it's adults, it's the major league players too. If they're arguing over those calls, they're wanting to walk. Like, why? I just don't get it.
I remember Jerry Hudson, God rest his soul, when he did the Western Piedmont. We used to go up here to the Legion Hut, you know. He goes, boys, I'm going to tell you something. ain't nobody walked to the major leagues.
That's right.
Correct.
And they say,
Correct.
nobody came to the ballpark to watch walks.
Correct.
Call strike.
That's exactly what I tell my boys. Your mama didn't come to watch you walk. Your mama didn't come to watch you strike out looking.
Yeah.
Everybody in this park come to see you swing the bat, go down swinging. And I told my son, I was like, look, if you swing one in the dirt and overhead on strike 3, I'm not going to fuss at you. But if you stare at strike 3 right down the middle, I'm going to lose my mind because we all practiced this week. At not one point did I throw a ball and you sit there and watch it go down the middle just for practice. We never practiced that.
I had an umpire, and I ain't saying, well, y'all figured this out anyway. But
Dustin Day.
No. But this is how she approached it at the plate. It's from your ankles to your eyebrows.
Oh, Lord.
What? That's what we're calling today. Swing the bat. You'd go out there, ball up at their head. Strike. Well, then I started having coaches come to me.
I got somewhere to be.
Yeah, coaches. I mean, the coaches are coming to me. They're going, Terry, she can't do that. And I said, what are you talking about? Come and listen. I said, okay. So I go up there, and I'm in behind her one time. From your ankles to your eyebrows. I said, holy moly. So I had to get with the person to tell them, no, your strike zone's not that high. Well, they're never going to swing. Well, you're right.
You're right.
You're right.
You should. You know what you should have, Terry? Can you at least move it down to the chin?
Yeah. Just
give me the chin. Just give me like one ball size smaller. But hey, you know what? As a coach, I don't care as long as you tell me that.
Yeah.
That's what she told
I have no problem.
If you're consistent.
If you tell me, I love that. And to be honest, when I was an umpire, I've had coaches be like, hey, where's your strike zone? I'm like, I say nipples to knees is what I would say. But that's talking to adult men.
Yeah.
That's the strike zone, and they're usually like, okay.
Don't say that in a softball.
Right,
game.
I know.
right,
That's right.
right. But again, that's pretty much, coach. That's the strike zone. That's what I'm gonna call. I'm telling you now, and that's fine. If you see it above there, then I missed it. But like I don't mind her. Obviously, that's too high, Terry. But I love the fact that she said that's my line before you went out there. I wish more would do that, because then you could say, well, you told me before the game we were calling knees. Because some of them do call knees, some of them don't. Some call below the knees, shins, like Tom just said. You might get ankles from Sam Holmesley at one time.
Yeah.
That was that. I love that. That was the whole thing. As long as you could get it over the plate and the catcher catches it close to the ground, Sam will give you that one. So I throw the sidearm pitches when he was.
But I
behind
used
the
to
plate
love it
for
because
him.
coaches always tell me, Terry, it's at their head. And they want my kid to swing at it. I don't teach them that in practice. I mean,
But
Well, 5 of them just swung at it over their heads. I know that because I just sit there and watched them. I don't care what you teach them.
I guess after all this, and I would tell any umpire, do not say what you're going to call, because then you are bound to that. So what you do is, like, I'm in a an old man 35 and up game, but you got a 55-year-old guy out there who used to pitch in the major leagues. I don't need to call eyebrows, and the other guy's pretty good too. So it's like, okay, let's go. Like, I don't know if anybody else uses this, but usually I just say strike zone plus. I give you the strike zone plus a little bit more in the leagues I call. Now, you can't do that in Division I, but the leagues I call, I give them just strike zone plus and just stay there. So that doesn't mean, well, little outside. No, if it's a little, here, wherever it is, strike zone plus a little bit more. And if it's not very good, then you can go strike zone plus, But you don't go to the plate and say, the strike zone is good. It's like, no.
From your ankles to your eyebrows, buddy.
You know what?
I get it. I don't mind it. It says in the rule book what it is.
And now every once in a while, a guy will turn
I'd rather
around.
you tell me than.
Every once in a while, a guy will turn around and say, "Is that as far out as you're going?" And it really irritates me when the pitch is on the plate, and I was like, and I just say, "That's a strike." You know what I mean? Because there's this saying they also teach you: silence cannot be repeated. So don't go to the plate and say, I'm calling eyebrows, and then you got some guy who's like popping the strike zone, and then you got some other guy throwing at the eyebrows. Like, wait a minute, you're going to give this guy that's good the eyebrows too? Yeah. So, I mean, just don't say anything, because I'll have guys, what are you calling today? I don't know what I'm calling today. I was like, I got to see.
I'll
what
make it up. I'll make it up as I go.
No, seriously.
That depends
Seriously,
on y'all.
you don't know. You don't. You don't.
Hell if I know.
But Kevin,
I'd get up there and be aggressive.
Kevin, I'm telling you, every once in a while,
I get to see change.
you'll have two pitchers that can't bend their back.
That's right.
And the ball's coming over right below the sternum, and both pitchers are doing it, and you're calling it a strike, and nobody says a word.
Yeah.
But if you go out there and there's two good, this kid plays for such and such community college, and this kid plays for such and such team, and they're coming back playing Legion ball, and they can throw it 90 miles an hour, and you're calling the sternum, well, then you can't do that. So I'm just telling you, it just depends on what's the strike zone. Just don't tell any. It's like I tell anyone, don't go out there and say, well, this is my strike zone. This is shut up. First thing you're going to say, if you say this is my strike zone, you know what I'm going to say to them? There is no your strike zone. Yeah. The strike zone is like Kevin said. Right. So just don't say anything and just like kind of read the game, and then you're going to be okay.
Well, the ones I like is when you're throwing it, Tom, and then you'll have a coach over there who goes, okay, he missed that one, but you got two more.
Yeah.
Like that was, you'll be like, okay, he just put me down.
I mean, it's just
but they'll just let it go.
But the way
That's the way they do it.
what you just said,
Real
Terry,
quick.
the way I say it is that's too high for you. You've got two more. I don't say he missed. I say
that's
too high for you. That's
he
too
missed
outside
that
for you. That's too inside for you. That's me. That's my way of saying I think you missed it, but it's okay because you, like you did say though, you've got two more. Like on strike three, you should have swung. The first two, if you and the umpire don't agree, that's between y'all on mine. All right, in the National League, Phillies and Mets are above 500. Only two teams there.
Atlanta's having a hard time getting to 500, and when they do, they seem to lose the next game.
Yeah.
To fall below it again.
I've seen them and the Cardinals in person. I think they're all mediocrely. I don't know. I think there might be two or three good teams, and the rest of them are mediocre. And they're just beating each other.
Acuna just came back for Atlanta, and Strider's coming back for Atlanta as well.
Acuna
so they
toasted one.
His first pitch.
First pitch. Yeah.
9-42. Wow.
Yes.
That's
including beating New York last night.
And that's not one of the teams that is playing in a minor league park.
Yeah.
It's not even one of those teams.
My question
can we relegate them to a minor league park?
That's a real franchise.
They played 51 games. They got 111 left. Can they win 50?
Well, they're on pace for.
Can
20.
they win 50?
They're on. They can't. They're not even on pace for 30.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying.
No.
They're not on pace for 30, Terry. They're on pace for 27 wins.
I mean, I keep looking at it because somewhere along here they're going to win about 4 or 5 in a row.
Y'all, they're on pace for 27 wins. Look how many teams have more than that right now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the National League. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the American. 12 teams have more than 27 wins. That's what they're on pace
half the
for.
league. Yeah.
That's incredibly awful. So fraud alert. Who's the biggest fraud? I'll let y'all call it in the Central. White Sox have a terrible record and got 4 teams over 500. And in the West of the National League, the Rockies are also awful, and you got 4 teams over 500. So who's the biggest fraud? Diamondbacks, Padres, Giants, Royals, Twins, or Guardians?
Say the Guardians are a fraud.
I said one of those. Well, one of those is a fraud because they're getting wins against the White Sox and the Rockies.
Oh, yeah.
those are two divisions with 4 teams over 500.
Careful,
and a terrible team.
Kevin, careful. You're going to offend the Pope.
I'd give one rat's ass about offending the Pope.
You're going to offend the Pope? Well, okay.
That's between him and Mary.
I'll talk to Kevin today.
I've talked to Jesus about that myself. He don't care what I say about the Pope. he's a little more worried about my salvation than what hell I
Scoot
feel
over
about
here a little
about the Pope. Well, I mean, Chip, if you can find something in Scripture where Jesus said something good about the Pope, I'll be happy to listen to it.
Gospel of Matthew, but we'll talk about that at a later time. I'm going to pick the Diamondbacks.
Terry?
I'm definitely not picking Kansas City.
I thought you was going to say easily the Guardians. They're -8 on scoring right there.
No, I would never say.
The Guardians can't score any runs.
They're just like Kansas City. Neither
Terry,
one
y'all +2.
I have to say,
Yeah, barely.
You're only 95 runs
but
behind the
we do
Tigers.
play Chicago. I mean,
95 runs behind the
That's probably
Tigers.
where all of our runs come from.
Oh, I guess the
Cleveland actually has scored more runs than Kansas City. It's just they've given up more runs as well. So that's That's why they're different.
Y'all can't pitch.
Tristan McKenzie, is just kind of.
Well, one of your pitchers just went down, didn't they? He's having season-ending elbow surgery, isn't he?
I have to look again. A lot of times I don't read as much as I want to.
Well, I can't. I'm saying it. I can't remember his name.
So much going on. But
Lively.
Yeah.
He's having Tommy John surgery.
Great.
Yeah.
There you go. That's not a good one. All right, boys. Again today we've got San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves at 3:55. We also got high school baseball today. East Rutherford, West Stanley coming up soon here on Waggy KDC Broadcasting. Gates open at 10:30. We'll be live at 11:30. We'll be right back here in a few moments. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Now open in downtown Cherryville, the new Mr. Chili Express. Now open at 200 East Main Street. Mr. Chili Express is the division of the Manantial Mexican Restaurant. For orders to go, call 704-769-8001 for the new Mr. Chili Express. They're open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Come on out and try it today. The new Mr. Chili Express. Now open at 200 East Main Street, downtown Cherryville, a division of the Manantial Mexican Restaurant at 1205 Shelby Highway 150 West in Cherryville. Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, scratch and dent. They've got them at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Their big warehouse is overstocked with scratch and dent appliances, all with a full factory warranty. They are overstocked with laundry products, plus ranges, refrigerators, washers, dryers, and more, all name brands. And they are tear-free and priced to sell. All made right here in the good old USA. Scratch and dent at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. 1241 East Marion Street in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming up.
They have worn our nation's cloth under the red, white, and blue and paid the ultimate sacrifice to ensure freedom.
Start your engine!
Once again, it is the Coca-Cola 600 right here in Charlotte.
William Byron, Christopher Bell, neither one wanting to give an inch.
We've got a new leader in the Coca-Cola 600.
It's NASCAR's most challenging event, the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday, May 25th at 5 o'clock.
On Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
It's time to go yard with a new John Deere from James River Equipment Company in Shelby. Now you can buy James River 1025R compact tractor for only $189 per month with 0% financing for 72 months. You can add a front-end loader for $60 a month or add a belly mower for $40 per month. And when you come in and get a quote, you'll be entered to win All-Star Awards. So go yard at James River Equipment Company, 703 North Coast Road, Highway 180 North in Shelby.
Grizzly the Greeter says now's the time to get into Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville and pay no money down for buildings up to $10,000. Yes, you can afford a new Blessed building, and there are no tariff increases either. Now's the time to buy. Take $100 off any 10-foot building, $150 off any 12-foot building, or $200 off any 14-foot building, and take 20% off metal garages. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes, 2268 Lincoln Highway, 150 East in Cherryville. Online at blessedbuildings.com. Congratulations to all of our area graduates from everyone at Table Co. in Lincoln. It's the marketplace of hospitality. Graduates, be proud of this moment. You have worked hard and you deserve all the success you achieve. And drop by Table Co. in Lincoln for some great graduation gift ideas. See their custom hat bin. And don't forget they do free gift wrapping. Ask about their event menu. Great for a graduation party. That's Table Co. 2498 East Main Street in Lincoln. Online at shoptableco.com. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. But be sure to drop by their store, 2498 East Main Street in Lincoln. Open 10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday.
And welcome back. Saturday morning, Shock Jocks, Sports Talk Radio here with Kevin Hastings, Tom Sinafani, Terry Reinhardt, and Chip Carter. Appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah.
Heading into the home stretch
I did
of
want
our
to
show.
mention one thing. I did have a listener says, I'm watching you guys on Ruble.
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble.
Ruble is Russian currency.
Ruble.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Rumble.
Spend the rubles to watch you on Rumble.
But he said, don't forget to mention the Dale Earnhardt documentary that just premiered on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I didn't know that
Thursday.
I didn't know one was coming out.
Sure did.
Terry, do you have Amazon Prime?
No, I do not.
I'd say,
Was it released or is it being released on Thursday? Does it say?
No, it was just released on this past Thursday.
Thank you for the heads up. I did not know. I did not realize they were releasing one. So
Terry,
I'll be sure to check that out.
Would you like my Prime password?
Ain't that something? I might have to get it, Tom.
Okay, I might do that because you're the cheapest man in 3 counties. So I'll give you my Amazon Prime password so you can watch the Dale Earnhardt documentary. Remember when once upon a time though, you could just like tape something off TV and just give it to your buddy. You know what I mean? You can't really
do that anymore.
I know.
Oh, you can. I got the VHS still plugged in, Tommy. If you want to come over to the house and record.
Do they still work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if they would still work on the modern TVs.
They definitely work.
Oh, wow.
You do have to get. Well, I think I got a cable plug in.
So
my internet's back up. This is the video footage of Junior Johnson causing the wreck, and then here we go.
You can line up 2 abreast. Unfortunately for this race, I thought
it was trying to go by on the outside, but I wonder if his reaction time was what it used to be.
1 lap to racing, and trying to find the answer to how to make up a lap. There's the number 3 of Junior Johnson. I believe he's using the Winston Cup rules here, Ned, where you can line up 2 abreast. Unfortunately for this race, I thought it was a single file restart.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, but Junior's making up his rules as he goes. He wants to do it his way.
Coming down for a start. On the break, car number 3, Junior Johnson making up the lap. No, pace car is coming back out, Ned.
No, they didn't.
I don't believe NASCAR was too enthusiastic about that start that Junior Johnson made, and we're riding with Dumpling.
Where is
That's
that?
what Flossy Johnson calls
No, this
Junior.
is Charlotte. So this is during the All-Star weekend. They're having a Legends race on the little oval, the little track. There's a little track there in front that you can race.
The mini oval.
Yeah.
This is like an old timers race.
Yeah, that's what it is. Alongside the pace car, apparently trying to converse with Bill France Jr., the president of NASCAR, who's driving the pace car. He actually touches him.
No, he wouldn't touch the pace car.
Well, I don't know. You can expect anything from Junior Johnson. He does touch him.
Junior Johnson in car number 3, doing what every Winston Cup driver has always wanted to do. Run into Bill France Jr. on a racetrack. Hey, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. They're going to stop the race. This looks like a typical Saturday night shootout. And they're holding the cars down here on the track while they get this thing ironed out. Let's take a look again at what happened.
Okay, there's Johnson up beside the pace car, and he frams him, knocks France down into the grass area, and Junior pulls away.
Right,
Billy France is bailing out of that pace car. He's had all this he wants. Well, he's trying his best to move around Tim Block, and Block knows how to hold him off. Boy, they get together there pretty good.
Junior Johnson into the side.
Look at the lack of power steering right here.
Well, he's trying his best to move around Tim Block, and Block knows how to hold him off. Boy, they get together there pretty good.
Junior Johnson.
Yeah, you can't take it out of him, can you, Terry?
Nope. That's awesome. That's awesome.
He's going to move him out of the way. All right.
Well, he was one of them, too, about the steel, and he said, I'll come down there and show you how to build one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he did. He came. They found it in North Wilkesboro. He came in to fix. No, they try to put that's what it was. They tried in the Hall of Fame put the steel up to try to try to show people what it was. Junior saw a picture of it in the paper, drove from his home and came and made it working for him and fixed them in the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame had a working steel in the Hall of Fame was Junior Johnson. All right. For you basketball conspiracists in the draft conspiracy,
I don't know
did y'all
if you
see
heard this story, but
Shaq admits it. The NBA does fix the lotteries. Here's him admitting how he got to Orlando for you Charlotte Hornets fans.
But in 1992, I think the draft was in June or something, I meet Mr. Stern in March. And he says to me, hey, no, you are. Can't wait for you to come to the NBA. Then he pulls me to the side. You want to play where it's cold or where it's hot? He asked me that. Yeah, he did. He asked me that, and I was like, hot. And he smiled, and I smiled. And then a couple of days later, they had the draft thing, and the top 3 things. And then Minnesota was number 3. I was like, and then Charlotte was number 2, and then Orlando, Florida was number 1. I was like, I didn't think anything about it, but you hear a lot of these conspiracy theories, and there's a lot of situations that could make these things sound good and sound true. Like, okay, Dallas gets rid of one of the best players, but we're getting a new one. Ding, 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 ding. So I don't want to use the word conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting.
Awful lucky Cleveland getting LeBron in the lottery. I'm just going to say that right there.
Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks.
And the Knicks and the rest of them.
Yep.
So there's Shaq admitting that David Stern didn't come out specifically and say it, but there you go. Shaq admitting that this fixed what we always knew. So you got to want to come to Charlotte, Tom. We can't sell these NBA players in that Whitewater Center.
Whitewater Center.
We got to get better strip
I
clubs
think
or something.
Shaq's evidence is a little flimsy. I think it's a lot stronger with the Dallas thing. I think.
Well, he's just giving his anecdotal.
Yeah, I think that's more coincidental. The thing with Dallas this year is just you got a 1% chance of getting it, but you gave Luka to the big markets. I
do not think Shaq's coincident at all.
Do you know what reinforces that? Who got the first pick the next year? Orlando.
Yeah.
And then they drafted Chris Webber so that Webber could be the first, but then got Penny.
Yeah. In the previous 70 years, 7 franchises have won 77% of the NBA championships. First time in NBA history, there will be 7 different champions in 7 years.
Oh wow!
Now,
yeah.
So there's y'all your sevens if you can remember all that. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. All right, all my stuff's come back up, so I'm rolling back through see if any of the fun stuff. I do got a bunch of golf we're going to get to, and there's a bunch of fun stuff this week. Between I want to show you some. I was out at the PGA Championship, so we'll talk about that. Man, this is Jeff Teague talking about men and women's basketball. We'll get to that. This is a good thread here too. I'll say this, Chip. I'm gonna show. This was a guy was talking about having his first kid, and everybody responded, the greatest thing about being a dad is seeing how tall you can toss their kids. So they had a dad's tossing their kids challenge that they went through. This thread is just absolute gold. I thought y'all liked this. There's a little girl in a Georgia Bulldogs outfit, and dad's got her about 4 feet high.
That's awesome.
But the thread on this, like of all the pictures, is just absolutely gold as far as all of those. Let's see if we get up through here. Chip, I'm sure. What's the highest you've got one of your kids?
Not that high.
Not that high. Oh, some of these are just.
That's Justin. Is that Justin Thomas?
Well, that's his.
Oh,
name.
that was just his thread. Okay, I got you.
No, that's not like the Justin.
Oh, that's JT because he's an Alabama guy.
I want to show you some of these.
Nice.
These girls got up pretty high.
That's awesome.
That was the main one. Dang it. Where's it at? All right, here it is. I said, let the Twitter world know, show you how high you can throw your kids. So this one got him over the field goal post.
God.
There's a good shot.
Jesus.
Tom, did you ever get out of that high over there? These are baby ones.
I was just always scared to hurt my kid.
Yeah, me too.
Mine loves it.
I don't get
that high, but I don't
like I don't like it when people hand me their baby not because I don't like babies, but I'm just so afraid. Because they're so gentle, and I just don't want to hurt anybody.
People used to make fun of me, like especially when our first was born. I just petrified. Like people, like you're holding that thing like it's a Fabergé egg. I was like, you're exactly right. I sure am.
It's so delicate.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm gonna get through everything except for the golf stuff before this next break. Let's kind of get back on some of the other stuff. How about let's see. How about some NFL talk, Terry? What do you think about this one? You'll like this one. This is Washington Commanders president. That's all I got to say about that, Terry. Team owner. Sorry, not president. Team owner Marjorie Harris of the Commanders. Let's see what she has to say about the NFL and her team.
We have so much to look forward to. And look, the Commanders are America's team. And so what better place to have the NFL draft than in the mall?
You could literally see Terry's soul
just leave his body.
Try to get out of his body. He wiggled in his chair. He moved. Let's hear that again for all you Washington fans out there.
We have so much to look forward to. And look, the Commanders are America's team. The Commanders are America's. Look, the Commanders are America's team. And so what better place to have? And look, the Commanders are America's team. And so
she just stuck her hand. She stuck her hand in a lock socket.
Listen, I'm not defending the Cowboys on this one, but y'all don't even have the right name right now. This ain't the Redskins, Terry. It's not like she's saying, this is the whole rivalry's back. Redskins are back. We're taking over. This is America's. She got the Commanders. Terry, should women be allowed to own football teams?
I think they should.
I didn't get you in that one. I tried. Should the owners be making decisions about their football teams, Terry?
They want to.
Sometimes I think they can be a GM.
How about this? This is Orlovsky. Tom, you just missed Commanders owner claiming that the Commanders are now America's team.
They are.
And Terry about soiled his pants.
Very bad. I sold his pants.
I think they're America's darling now because of they were an underdog.
And look, the Commanders are America's team, and so what better place?
All right, here's Dan Orlovsky talking about your Cowboys defense, Terry.
The Dallas front seven weighs, okay? We go 260, 280, 245, 220, 240, 320.
Small.
There's one person over like 280. When I'm playing Philly,
I'm thinking of Jeff Stoutland's offensive line right now.
Yeah, when I'm thinking Matt LaFleur running the football, I'm thinking what Chicago has done with their offense. So I know that we talk about Dallas and offense, George. I'm going to be very interested to see the annual question about this Cowboys defense. Are you big enough to handle the modern day offense in the NFL? Because it's back to being what it was in the early 2000s.
All right. My answer for that question is speed can stop everything fast. But when you're little, how many injuries are you going to have because you're not big enough to handle the big guys up
Speed
front?
can stop everything fast.
It can.
Put that on a t-shirt.
It can.
That's sellable. That is sellable. We can sell that.
It can.
We can market that, can't we?
Definitely. That is definitely sellable. Micah Parsons, I don't know if you read the comment. He's the one commenting on it. He says, not going to lie, we're not thinking about the run when you have a healthy Dak and CD. We're going to score 30 points a game with a fluid run game, which you don't have a run game right now.
Yeah.
So you can't stop the run, and you won't be able to run, but you guys are in good shape.
Yeah.
You just got to have a lot of backups that are good with a lot of speed.
Can we do?
I'm just gonna tell you, man. I've seen teams do it, man. Like you take a Baltimore, it's got a Derrick Henry back there, and you're a little up front. Guess what's gonna happen, man?
Can we do like a company polo or company shirt that we wear for high school football this fall, Kevin? And speed stops everything fast.
With that, we'll be back real quick with another break. We'll finish up with Goff and more on KDC Broadcasting.
Enter your dad in the KTC Broadcasting Father's Day contest. Some lucky dad will win a $500 shopping spree at one of our local merchants, plus some other great prizes too. Register today at Carolina Furniture Mart on North Aspen Street in Lincoln, at Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, at Gaston Used Auto Parts on Dogwood Street in Gastonia, at the Pickle Fetish Company in downtown Lincoln, at Dallas Express Pharmacy on Hoffman Street in Dallas, at Parker Family Feed on Carpenters Grove Church Road in Bellwood, at Bruner's Automotive on East Main Street in Cherryville, at Mr. Chili in downtown Cherryville, at the Green Leaf Relief on Highway 10 in Vail, and at the Azteca Mexican Restaurant on West Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. The drawing will be held Friday, June 13th. Be sure to get your dad registered in the KTC Broadcasting Father's Day contest.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series heads to Charlotte.
Allgaier down low. It's Gibbs to the high side. They stay door handle to door handle as they race off turn 4. Chandler Smith will climb the hill. He'll go all the way to the outside wall in turn number 2. That opens the bottom lane. Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier trying to thread the needle through the field in a hurry.
It's the BetMGM 300, Saturday, May 24th at 4 p.m.
On Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com. It's Employee Pricing Plus at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lincoln, putting the power in your hands. Now you can receive employee pricing on select new 2024 or new 2025 Dodge models, or choose available attractive offers. Contact dealer for details. Check out the Dodge Performance vehicles today. Employee Pricing Plus at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1442 East Main Street in Lincoln.
Country Countdown USA.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30, along with my co-host Jason Aldean, who tells me about his friendship with the president.
It's become a really cool friendship, and I don't call him all the time.
Do you have his phone number?
Yeah, he's not much of a texter, but I will call him sometimes.
That's Jason Aldean this week on Country Countdown USA.
Wednesday at 1 p.m. on WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's time to treat yourself with a new 2025 Slingshot from Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Now get $3,000 customer cash on select models and up to $200 off parts and accessories. But that's not all. Take up to $4,000 off select Polaris off-road vehicles or get 0% financing for 60 months. But that's not all. 0% financing for 60 months or up to $3,000 customer cash on Yamaha Wolverine models. See Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com.
Happy Memorial Day from the Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. And to celebrate and honor our veterans, the Campers Inn invites you to come by this Saturday for free hot dogs. Now that's the deal. And this week, if a veteran purchases a camper, they'll receive a free gift to help with your camping experience. That's this Saturday, May 24th, free hot dogs at the Campers Inn, 615 Broadview Drive off Highway 161 South at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Closed Monday, Memorial Day. Again, happy Memorial Day from the Campers Inn in Kings Mountain.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Shock Jocks with Kevin Hastings, Terry Reinhart, Tom Sinafani, and Chip Carter. We're wrapping up the show here. Kevin's got some clips. Kevin, how was last Sunday at the PGA at Quail Hollow?
You know what? I'm going to be showing the pictures next week because I forgot to upload them on my phone.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to talk about it. I do have some tweets and stuff about it. So you talk about the food thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was an excellent idea. So normally, if you go to the Quail Hollow Club, the tickets are like $100, and you got to pay for the food, which is usually averages. If y'all ever been to any kind of concession stand, you know what concession stands are now. It's $50 to $100 just to go take your kids one trip. At this one, they just pre-charged you for the food, so the tickets are like $200 and $300 basically, and it's all you can eat. Now, it wasn't like, hey, I go up and scan and stuff. They just put the stuff out, and it was buffet style.
Did you try the burger? Have you tried?
Yes.
How good was the burger?
And that was what I was going to say. It looked crappy.
Yes.
It looked like one of those dry. It was a pre-made patties. They looked dry. I was like, I'm not even going to try one. My son ate one, and he had a little bit left at the end. So let me taste it. And it was juicy.
So good.
It was really good. And I'm like, I just had a chicken sandwich. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to eat one of those in like 4 more hours because we got there at 10:30, and we were there till it was over. So basically dark. So my son's, 3 or 4 times. When is this over? I'm like, dude, we got 4 more hours.
Yeah. Buckle up, buddy.
He asked me we were leaving like 4 times before Scotty even teed off.
This makes a NASCAR race look fast, bud. All right.
That's right. And then he's like, I'm never coming back.
So he's like, I wish I had my Nintendo Switch and all that other stuff. But like, I didn't even think he might have could have brought a Switch in there. He probably could have. People bring chairs and you can bring your cameras and everything, as long as you don't make a fool of yourself. Now, the PGA, I will say this: there were less people.
Oh yes,
but I'm going to compare it to like a NASCAR Formula One race.
Okay.
The Wells Fargo was your NASCAR race with your regular folks. I told you how much the tickets were. There weren't like the money that was being spent. Like there were way more stadium seats than there were during the Wells Fargo. So if the Wells Fargo had like, and this is also what they do. If the Wells Fargo was like one level, this was 2 or 3. Yeah. So they prioritized the expensive, very wealthy crowd. And you could tell it on the bus is what was funny, Chip. Like usually riding in Wells Fargo, everybody's been there before. Nobody's talking about the houses or anything. So when you're riding in for the PGA, you're riding in with a bunch of foreigners. And when I say foreigners, I mean people from like Virginia and Texas. You know what I mean? Not from North Carolina. But I did meet some folks from other countries and stuff too. And then also Colorado and Wyoming, people sitting beside me, they said hey. But a lot of the people, they were like, talking about the houses. Oh, these houses are so huge. And this is talking about the city and stuff. It's just a weird it was a totally different tournament from the crowd and the people, the setups. It was weird seeing the setups as far as like during the Wells Fargo, there were places you could walk as a fan and get on 17. They completely locked off 17 to non-rich people. I'm gonna put it that way.
No.
If you didn't have a super ticket, you were nowhere near 17. And it's not like that during Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, they let you walk up along the green. They have a rope and a line where you can squeeze up in there and get around it. Not in the PGA. You were not getting near 17, which is I didn't like it, to be honest, because the kids and everything else, that's usually where, the kids are running there and everything else. But the Austin did get a tee from Luke Donald.
Yeah. Cool.
He doesn't swing too hard.
He's very smooth. Well, he's never been the longest player.
It's funny watching players like Chip. You sit there and you like, and me myself near scratch golfer, and you're like, man, I wish I'd had the time. This would be so fun to watch. And you sit there and watch them play, and you're like, what are they doing that I'm doing different?
Yeah.
But like the ones that hit it further than me, there's nothing you can do about it. You can always chip and putt. And so I like watching the guys like that don't hit it as far. That would hit it where I would hit it, and like watching them where they would play. Like they're 280, they're not hitting it 360. And that's where so Glover's one of those ones, or Luke Donald's one of the ones that didn't swing too hard, and I was fun watching him. But he did break his tee, and the kid gave it to my son, so he does have a tee from him. Now Wyndham Clark,
he's great. Draymond Green.
So I didn't know the situation. I didn't know he had thrown his club. My son and I were on the 18th tee when he got there with Max Homa. I watched them play like the 6th hole. And I didn't know anything about him being mad or anything or upset. I didn't know any of that. And I'm trying to, of course, my pictures aren't coming up now. But he come up and sit so I'm sitting at the front of the tee, right where they walk in, Chip. So you'll know the guys holding the sign, that's where they pull the rope. So I'm at that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And Wyndham sits right in front of us, and he just puts his head between his hands. Doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
He's not looking at who's teeing off. Max is walking around getting snacks. It's the 18th hole. He's eating, getting drinks, and talking to a couple people, and he's just finishing up his round. And Wyndham's sitting there with his head between his hands, like, look, I was like, just don't say nothing. Don't he's pissed. He's upset. He's not having the round he wants. So I'm looking at his score, and I'm like, I guess not. And so I didn't know that. So he actually had the honors on the hole.
Oh, God.
So he never got up. He didn't practice. He didn't swing. He didn't do nothing on the 18th tee. He sat there with his hand in his shoulders until they told him his time was ready. And he stood up, got his club, walked over there, and then went and then hit it. Just as mad. He's just up. He's just totally. I didn't know about the club throwing. Yeah. But what's funny is Max threw a club too. And on Twitter, they're like, he did a good job throwing, and this is how you're supposed to. This is great club throwing, because he threw it where and then he walked and got it. But then they give Wyndham hell for throwing it, I guess, because he got near a volunteer.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't know that, but he was clearly 100%. I can report he was very upset on the 18th green. And then I went and looked at it. He probably lost $1 million.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the purses were that much difference. Like Harris English, we saw him tee off there on the 18th. He went from, I think it was $300,000 to $1 million purse by moving up on the 4th day. So that's once I saw Wyndham act like that, that's the only thing I could think was, I wonder if he just lost a crap load of money on Sunday, and that's why he was so upset, because I didn't know from that point.
Kudos to Davis Riley, he was one of the 3 players along with Harris English and Bryson DeChambeau, who finished tied for second, and thus, because it was a 3-way tie for second, there's the next spot down is 5th place, obviously, if you do your math right. So Davis Riley, he's a borderline top 50 player. Like finishing second in the PGA moved him up to 53rd in the world golf rankings. But what this does is, because he finished inside the top 4, he's going to make it to all the majors in the next year.
Qualifying.
So he qualifies. So that's pretty sweet.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All I want to do is be the caddy for Scotty Scheffler, who made $342,000.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good little.
He's yeah.
I'd be happy with.
I can take that.
Tim's doing just fine.
I was sitting there watching the caddies too, thinking like, well, can I not get that job? Okay, the aim point thing is stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't stress that enough.
Just laughed.
It's just like, and my dad's, if you ever play golf with my dad, I could take that long to miss that putt too. And that's what you're thinking is sit there. You're looking like a jackwagon to miss the putt. Might as well not look like a jackwagon to miss the putt. Like that's what. It's not like they're draining. Chip, I want to see a stat. And maybe it's true that the guys who use it have improved their putting by like 5 strokes around. Because if it's not, it ain't doing it, guys.
Yeah.
You can't convince me that you can read a putt with your eyes closed and your feet better than I could. Looking at the freaking putt.
Start giving them a putt clock.
God, dude, they miss. They just miss.
There should be a shot clock on all of them, Tom. I agree with.
Putt clock.
And then when
or even out in the fairway and the tee box.
What they'll do, Tom, is when they miss, the caddy immediately walks by the hole and starts doing the aim point backwards. Max Homa read his putt, looking halfway at his putt with his butt towards the hole. That's how he read the putt with his feet.
Yeah.
Butt towards the hole, halfway in the putt. I have no idea what he got out of that. So that was just weird. That drove me crazy. But so Rory's crowd, no matter how bad he's in it, he had a crowd that people followed him the whole round. I thought that was weird. While following like the 50th place, the last place guy. But that opened up like we saw almost everybody in a small group except the Scheffler group was huge and the Rory group. The rest of the groups were kind of everything else was pretty.
Those are the two. I mean, and obviously it was what Rory did at it was historic what he did at Augusta, and he is the face. And I'll say this, and I'll say as someone who I would at this point in terms of active golfers currently playing, I'll say Rory is my favorite. I was rather surprised at the fact he didn't address the media any during the week, and he's got to. Part of me is going to tell him he needs to understand, or there needs to be a recognition. I think somebody like Jack needs to talk to him and say, look, with great power comes great responsibility. You have achieved this. It's phenomenal, and you have done great. You have made yourself one of the top 10. You've solidified yourself as one of the top 10 golfers of all time doing this. You are now also, especially with Tiger falling off and not playing a very limited schedule, if ever, you are the face of this sport now. You are the face of this game. You have a responsibility part of him is upset and ticked at the tour because they turned their back on him after he spent so much advocating for the PGA when LIV first started, and then when they went behind his back and did the deal with Saudi Arabia, he feels burned by Jay Monahan and the tour. I'm sure he does, and I completely respect that. But don't take it out on the fans. I'll say this about for Tiger or anybody: you owe the fans, because your purses, the money you're getting. If there's not fans involved, if there's not people interested in your game, you're not getting that much money. You're not getting that much sponsorship.
Tom, I'm going to give a little credit to you before we go. Last week, we talked about Rory and his driver that was out of specs. They do check other guys. A lot of people have been caught the same thing. I think part of what you're saying, Chip, I think someone said that Rory was mad also that his name got put out there, that his driver was broken, the other guys weren't.
You heard who else got seized, didn't you?
Right.
Scotty's.
But then, like you just said the past 2 winners got seized. Rory, Tom, his driving distance went down about 30 yards from his old driver. He was the guy he played with. I can't remember in the last round of Augusta, he outdrove by, I think, an average of 25 yards. And then this weekend at PGA, the other guy outdrove Rory by 6 yards.
Standardized.
That's what the guys were talking about. You got to test everybody because there's.
I would agree with that. I think you need to test everybody.
Standardized.
All right, boys, we'll be back. See you next week. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Carolina Country, WCSL, 92.9 FM, W225DL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia, Kings Mountain. Online at www.
A hot beach music song from this month in 2003.